Recording in progress.
Great. There where everyone is. Hey Vince, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Wondering where everyone else is though.
How many do you have enrolled in the class?
Hold on. My headset is not on the right sound. Let me bring this over here. Can you say something now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So, how many do you
All
have
right.
enrolled?
I have 22 people.
And nobody's shown up?
Well, remember that I always say that the people who are new should come at the beginning, but I have like 4 or 5 new people. No, let me see how many. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have 4 or 5 people that I don't recognize their names, so they should be here. Although some of them see the message and go, well, I know how to do Zoom, so they might come up at the second time, which is at 9:15.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
see. And then the rest will show up at 10. So
Oh, okay.
we'll wait and
I
see.
check back in at 10 then?
Yeah, since you know the
Okay.
first part. So yeah, I'll
Got
see
it.
you
All
at
right.
10.
I'll check in at 10. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. Hi,
Um,
here.
Yeah, well, a couple people showed up, but I should have 5 new students who should have come in early, but they haven't shown up. Everyone else is the student who already knows me, so they're coming in later, like you.
Oh, I was gonna come in later and then I went on to this VBI thing
Mm-hmm.
and I did the 2-factor thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wasn't sure how to find it. So I thought, well, maybe I should join early.
Okay, well, that's exactly what early is for. So hi, welcome.
Yeah, yeah. How's it going? Did you have a good
Yeah,
summer?
getting over COVID, so
Oh, no.
we'll
Oh,
see.
bummer.
We'll see how long I last. Might not be able to hang out the whole class. We'll see. But other than that, glad that it's almost over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just had a knee surgery a couple weeks ago.
mm,
And I really isolated because of COVID.
yeah.
And so
Oh,
anyway, but
my
I
family
have
is
to
one
move
of the
around a little bit because my knee doesn't let me sit too long.
we were I was the only family I knew of that had never gotten COVID yet, and now we just all went through it last week.
Oh, wow. New strain, I
So
guess. Yeah.
how exciting. Finally, I've joined the crowd.
Join the crowd. You don't feel left out anymore.
I know. Was it FOMO? I would have been very happy not joining the crowd, I assure you. But oh
Wow.
well. So so oh, I was gonna ask you well, a couple things about VDI, but I was gonna ask you also, so you're on your new computer now then?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, great. And are you gonna need support with that? Are you taking the Mac classes, or you're okay
Well,
with
they don't work out on my schedule. I've got a lot of PT coming up and stuff. So,
okay.
but I think it's pretty well the same, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, good then. I remember you
Um,
had a
yeah.
lot of different folders and stuff
Yeah.
and stuff.
You know, Diana, if you want to just kind of rest your voice and, because you're gonna have to go through this VBI stuff with the other people, right?
No, because the people who should have been here for VDI, people who should be here now. So that means
Oh.
that the people who are going to take the class are
Oh,
the people who are coming later, who are the ones who already know it. So
oh, okay.
I shouldn't have to do VDI with
Okay.
anyone.
Yeah,
So your
So-
question at this point wasn't VDI first, is the two-factor authentication, right?
I got the two-factor done.
Okay.
And then I went in, I don't know how to find stuff. Haven't used the pipeline thing so
All right.
much.
So go ahead and share your screen since it's just you, and we'll just do it based on your stuff.
Yeah, I guess I have to get into VBI here. Let me.
Well,
maybe-
no, first share your screen and then I'll help you from the
Oh,
start.
okay. All right. Oops. Oh, share.
Remember, it's two things you need to share. Oh, this is the first time in this computer that you share. You're
Yeah,
probably getting permissions thing, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Open.
So go
system.
ahead and say open system settings.
Good, I did this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is exactly what this time is for. You came at the right time. And then
Yeah.
on the right side, you'll see it'll say
Privacy.
Zoom somewhere, and there'll be like a slider, a little gray slider you need to click on to turn blue. And when you do that, it'll ask you for your password, your computer's password. Tell me what you're seeing so I'll know if you're in the right
I'm seeing
place.
a Zoom, I'm seeing this, all this, you know, the little menu on everything.
Mhm.
And then I'm seeing to the right of that, I'm seeing screen system audio and Zoom.
Zoom. So try to click on Zoom. On the right side of the word Zoom, there's like a
Okay.
little bubble that you should
Okay.
click on, and it's a slider.
Okay, let me just, yeah, I split it over.
Okay. And did it,
It
it's
says
saying,
Zoom may not record the contents of your screen
say
until
now or later? Say
Yeah.
later.
later, okay.
Mhm.
And now, what do I do now?
Okay, so now go back to the Zoom and hit the share again, and it should let you share and then share twice.
No, let's see, cancel. Says I'll allow applications to record your system or,
Say that again. Allow.
it says, I've got the Zoom slider on and then
Uh-huh.
it doesn't say anything about share.
No, now you go back to where my face is, our Zoom, and you go
Oh.
back to the share button. As
Oh,
long
okay.
as you did the slider. No, you need to go back to
Oh,
the share
okay.
button.
Then I can just close this window?
Yeah.
Okay. Now try share.
And it's share and then share again in the bottom. There we go. Perfect. All right. And now that one's fine.
No,
You
it's
already
kinda,
said yes to that. So you
Okay.
can close this one. That was the one left from before. All right.
I'm sharing.
Yeah. So now, what are you going to use for VDI? You have both Chrome, I see there open, and Safari open. So if you're
Oh,
going to use
let me,
Chrome, okay, go.
I can quit Chrome here.
For the most part, VDI, they say, I
What?
think it works fine on both, but they say that Chrome, it
Chrome
might
works better?
work better on Chrome, but you don't want to have Safari open too, so have one or the other.
Yeah, I'll
You can
quit
close
that.
Safari.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so now head over to VM View. VM,
Oops.
oh, just type in there. Oh, now I can't
Oh,
see the
here?
whole thing. No,
In the
up at
search?
the top. At the top, let me,
Oh, here?
yeah.
Where it says Google?
Yeah, so VM, yeah, perfect.
Is it
VM,
capital?
where you are is perfect. Just start writing
Do I-
VM view like to view something, dot sbcc dot edu. Cool. Now click on the right side. Yeah, that one. Yep, check there. No, just click on the word VM Horizon, like where you clicked on the little check here. Now
Mhm.
just click on those words that are next to it. Put your mouse over the word, yeah, and just click now. Great. And now
Okay.
enter your username and password. I'm gonna have to go
Let's
get,
see. I gotta go back on my Safari. It's all in there.
oh, yeah.
Just hold on.
Um, I'm looking for tissues I thought I had here. I might need to go grab some. All right,
Okay.
and this is where now, go ahead and say save on the top right. That way you don't have to go all the way to Safari again next time. Go to that top right where it says save password.
Oh,
Yeah,
up here.
right there, right here. Do you see where I
Yeah.
just wrote a circle?
Yeah,
Do
I
you,
I
do you-
can't. see
no,
it
no,
on
no,
my-
not there, not there.
I can't see it on my screen though. Oh,
There, there's the word save.
yeah, but I can't see it. You're in
Oh,
the,
you have
there,
zoom in
there
the
it
way.
is. There,
There it is. Say
okay.
save on that. Okay. And now this is when you have to go to your phone number and you'll receive a code.
So I
So
type
go
in
to
my
your,
phone,
go to your phone. No,
just
go
go to
pick
my
up your
phone.
phone or whatever
Okay,
number finishes in 9616,
Yeah.
and then you should have been
okay,
texted. You
yeah.
have a codes. There you go. There you go. And now continue.
So how I got in there was VM View.
vmview.sbcc.edu and go ahead and say continue.
I just, okay.
Say no to, yeah.
Oh,
No, that's fine. Because they might put in the password, that code now, but that's okay. All
Oh,
right,
okay.
you're in there. Okay, so now go click on student desktop, which is there on the left.
okay.
Great. And now this step that's coming up takes about a minute. Say okay. And then up there, VM view, say okay. And then up in the top, say allow on every visit. And then manage, say allow. And then Chrome mounts access camera, say allow. Okay. Good. And now this takes a little while. And wow, that computer's fast. That took less
Oh,
than
it's a
normal.
fast one. I just love it. You know, mine was pretty old, so
Mhm.
it wasn't a heartbreaking thing.
Yeah, no, I remember you were having some issues with it already.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you go. Now you're in a Windows computer. Yay, because VDI takes you into a Windows computer.
Oh, okay.
So now, you're gonna head down to we're gonna wait a little bit actually, because you should be getting a request to sign into the Google Drive and give it, and your name has to appear on the right side of the blue screen. There it is.
Okay.
Okay, welcome to Google Drive. So now say get started. And this portion that you're doing right now, go ahead and say sign in.
Mhm.
This is something you need to sign into each time, the Google Drive. So now put in your dsaloga at pipe or whatever your username is at pipeline.sbcc.edu, the whole thing.
Oh, the same thing that I,
This is your username at, and then pipeline.sbcc.edu.
was that my email thing?
No, your school username, which is I think is dsaloga, something like that. Whatever
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
school username, pipeline username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. Yeah. Cool. Say next. Sign in. Cool. So now you can go to the top of this little window and close it right there on the far right here. It's hard to see, but right up there.
Oh, I think I have to down here.
Yeah.
There.
Mhm.
There.
Okay, great. So now you're ready to go. Now, over here on the left side, click on that little, that's the Windows icon
Mm-hmm.
down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Windows icon. And now over here, you're going to see Adobe Bridge. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, Adobe Photoshop, and that's what we need to open. So go ahead and open Adobe Bridge to start with. There we go.
Okay, but I got all that stuff on my computer, on my regular computer.
Oh, you already have Photoshop and
Yeah, I just thought sometimes don't you have to go to VBI to get your
no,
you have to go
VDI
to
is only for people who don't have Photoshop
oh, I thought
or
you need to go
Adobe.
in there. How would I go in to see your assignments and stuff like
Oh,
that?
okay. All right. So then let's completely sign out of this because this, you will never need VDI. If you
Yeah.
have, I just went
Yeah.
and started cleaning VDI without
Yeah.
starting there. Okay. So let me back you out of here. See this little tab that you have there that I'm pointing to,
Yeah.
like there. Yeah. Click on that. And then go over here to this top over there and click on that. And on the bottom, say log out.
Okay,
And then say, okay, to log out of that.
okay.
And cool, you can close Chrome, or, you know, you don't need
Yeah.
this anymore. So close this
I can
window,
just
close
close
Chrome,
this right here, right?
close the tab and quit Chrome, and then we'll go into Safari if you're more comfy with that. And so quit Chrome. Yeah. Oh, there you go. You have all the apps right there. And then go into Safari.
Let me just clear all these because you can go faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that my computer. Now
Yeah,
I
but
go
but
to-
it's still better to not
Yeah,
have a ton
yeah.
of. There you go. So now we're going to go into sbcc.edu.
Homepage, right?
Mhm. And then now, instead of pipeline, see on the top right, where it's changed to something called My SBCC.
Oh, okay.
So click on My SBCC. There we go. And now you sign in. You can put your fingerprint, it seems to, so your
Yeah,
choice.
that's what I like. I turned
And-
80 last week.
Isn't it nice to use a fingerprint now?
Yeah.
All right. So you're good now, and all you need to go do now is we're gonna head over here to that's interesting. How do you guys do from here? I'm learning about pipeline too. How do you get from here to your Gmail address? Go over here to the red, yeah,
There's
scroll
Gmail
just, no,
here,
not
shortcut.
Gmail, not Gmail. I want to see if it says the Google Drive. So scroll down a bit. No, on the left side where it says shortcuts. Does it scroll? Keep going. Go down to college, which I don't think so, but let me just test that because you should be. Everyone, no, not that. Okay, so scroll up again. Go down to everyday tools or student tool. I just want to see where they hit it. Go down and go down to student tools. My Path Starfish. Interesting. They don't put the Google Drive handy. Okay, so then let's do it this way. We're going to get to it using, go down and go up to the top again. This is me exploring because I
Yeah, this is
assumed
great.
that they would, I would have assumed they'd put the Gmail. So it's interesting because can you go over to edit, see where it says shortcuts? Go down to shortcuts, see where it says edit, go to the word shortcuts. 2 up, 1, 2, 3 up, like up, 1 up.
Oh, shortcuts.
Yeah, on the
Edit.
right side it says edit. Let me see if you can add one. No, let me see, scroll down. No, it only lets you take it away, not add it. Okay, so just say done to not lose any of those. All right, so we're gonna have to go over through Gmail. So that's interesting. Okay, go down where it says Gmail. Or resources. Go up, go up, go up. Scroll up again. I know how to get you
Mhm.
there, but I'm trying to see if there's an easier way. Go up again a bit and higher up. Like scroll. Let's go to where it says resources over there.
No, student resources.
No,
Oh,
but there's
I'm
one
going here.
resources at the top. There's a resources a bit higher up that I'm trying to
Oh,
get to.
okay, resources, okay.
Let's see.
Oh, here it is, Google Drive.
There it is. How weird. Now I wonder if that can be added to the shortcut. Yeah, go to Google Drive. Because I'm gonna have to, yeah, click on Google Drive. And I'm wondering if there's a way to put this
Oh,
in
see,
the
there, then you find it,
shortcuts,
some of my stuff.
but it doesn't get you into the entire Google Drive. This is weird. All right, so I'm done with this. I'm gonna have to ask them, go to shared with me. Next to the word Google Drive, it says shared with me. You're in my class. And I've shared with you the folder. So this isn't working well. Because in shared with me, you
Mhm.
should have,
Yeah.
no, because I didn't share with you. I shared the class. I'm trying to think it through. I'm glad you're doing this because I'm trying to figure out in this new system how to tell people. It's under shared drives, not under shared with me. So they need
Mhm.
to add something here. I'm taking screenshots of this because I'm going to be reaching out to tell them, hey guys, this is not
Oh, yeah, great.
complete.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go the other workaround. Let's go over here to Gmail and we'll get it from there. So at least now I know how to,
Yeah,
yeah, go to
Gmail.
Gmail. All right, and then up here where you see these these 4, 5, 6 little dots, whatever that I'm pointing to over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, click
Okay.
on that and then click on Google Drive. But I wish they had a link to it. How interesting. All right, so now it's under shared drives. That's the link they don't have. They had the shared with me and then my drive, but they didn't have the shared drives. So that I need to ask them to put in there. So go over to shared drives.
Shared
Here,
drive, okay.
yeah. Oh, hold on. Looks like I might not have you in the shared. Let me see. Yep, it looks like you're not in it. So let me see what's happening.
You want to do shared with me underneath it?
42385. No, 42385. No, give me a second.
Okay.
42385 2025. Oh, I had shared it to the 42385 2024. That was my bad. I'm sharing it right now. I had it shared for since it's 2024. There we go. It appeared. Okay.
Okay.
So now double click
Mm,
and there you are. Now
okay.
I'd be curious. You know what? Move that to the right a little bit again, like you were, and let me just show you. No. Put it so that you see the whole thing. No. Move it. Keep moving it to the right. Yes. Now over here, if you don't want to see this, just click on this little icon right there
Okay.
to make it go away. Good. Perfect. And then over here, like move way over to the right and click on that X way over there.
Oh, over there.
If you can
Okay.
see it. Get rid of that. Okay. And now you can make the window a little bit smaller, like grab it, not move it. Not, yeah,
this?
make it, and then move it over so that you don't have the Zoom stuff in the way. There we go. No. Big
Okay.
enough.
Big
What I'm
enough.
trying to say is before over here, you kind of have like the Zoom windows and stuff. So just move it out of
Right.
the way from that,
Yeah.
but that's okay. All right. So this is the Photoshop shared drive. Double click on that. And here we are. You can make it bigger, like lengthwise. You don't need to have it so small. I just didn't want it interfering with the Zoom stuff. Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's
There you
okay.
go.
It's getting there.
Oh, I see.
All right. And then over here you have all of the class files, and then this here would be the folder that right now it's not really ready to download, but if you I'm going to explain to everyone, this is the part where as soon as everyone shows up, which they should be in the next few minutes, this is where I have the class files, which isn't complete yet, but there's
Mhm.
files for today. But you're at the same, spot as
Yeah.
everyone right now.
Okay, I'm glad I came
So,
in early, otherwise I'd been a mess.
yeah, and then go down to bridge. No, actually, it's only because you asked to do VDI,
Oh,
which I
mm.
should have been clear. You would have been
Yeah.
fine because you didn't need to do all the stuff that we did. Go ahead and open bridge 2 because we're gonna be using bridge, and then you're set for the class to start.
Now, does that need to be updated? This is 2023.
Yeah, you probably should head over here to Creative Cloud right there. Go ahead and say yes to that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. Say yep. All right. But now I would recommend, you're right, close everything. You have a new computer, you can update everything. So quit bridge. And since we still have people to show up, quit bridge, quit everything. Yeah. And then go up here where you see that little icon, which is your Creative
Oh,
Cloud.
that's Creative Cloud. I was wondering where it went because it wasn't on my dock anymore. And I was like,
Mhm.
where'd it go? Okay,
Yeah. And now go ahead and, oh, it says Photoshop is up to date. Illustrator's up
I
to
updated
date.
Photoshop, but Bridge, I don't think I updated.
Oh, okay. So then go back here, which is no, don't open bridge again.
Okay.
Quit bridge.
Quit Bridge.
Yeah. And well, it'll make you quit at some point yet to, and then scroll over here where you have all these names, keep scrolling until you see bridge here, which is there. Yeah, there we go.
This
It
is
does
up
say
to
up to
date.
date. It does say up to date to all of them. How
Yeah, because
interesting.
I did go in there too, because I knew I
Well,
needed.
it's interesting. It does say up to date, but it did just say that it made you say yes to update some things. So maybe it's fine. Hover over the other icons to see if they also say 2024 down in your
Oh.
dock. Okay, go to the right and hover over Illustrator and InDesign. They all say 2024
Oh, this
InDesign.
one says 2023.
Okay. That's fine. You know what? Some people are showing up, so let me let
Okay.
people in. So yeah, well, that you're as updated as can be. So
Okay.
you're good. I'm gonna stop your share and
Okay,
you're ready
great,
to go.
thanks.
You're
Appreciate your
welcome.
help.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Cold.
I know, surprising, isn't it? We're finally in the cold time of life. So time of the year, not time of life. Um, it is just you and Dorothy. I know that you write Dot and Dorothy. Do you prefer to be called Dot or Dorothy? I want to call you what you
Dot,
feel
Dot.
comfortable with. Okay, Dot. Everyone is showing up right now. Here's Laura. I have 5 new people in the class who usually show up in the beginning, but they didn't. So now everyone's beginning to show up. So, hi, Laura. Nice to see you. So, waiting a few more minutes until everyone else shows up. But how was your summer, you guys?
Quick.
I know. It seems like I saw you 2 weeks ago. What
It
didn't I?
was. It was.
It was so Rebecca took a ton of my summer courses, and literally our last class was 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
here we
wow.
are again. All right, so guess what I did during my summer, Rebecca?
What?
I
What did you-
caught COVID.
Oh, a lot of people.
I
A
know.
lot. I must have 6 people that are 6 friends that caught it.
Yeah, and when I went to the doctor, they said that there's a peak again, and I was just telling Dot, my family had the honor of having never got it in all these years. And
Ooh.
boom, I like doink, doink, doink. All 4 of us came down. My husband still had a fever last night. It's like, we just took our turns. So, but
Where is more dangerous? I mean, it's
that
more contagious.
It's more contagious. Well, or at least since no one's really taking many precautions anymore. But we know where it started. My son went on a week camping trip with a group of from the museum and came back, and the next day they said, "Oh, by the way, one of your group has COVID." It's like,
Oh,
okay, you know, in a van in the same tents for a week, there was no
Oh,
chance.
hard
There, it
to-
was like
hard to-
there was
Can't
no
isolate
ch-
there.
no, you know,
Mm.
but by the time no, but there's not a matter of isolating.
Mm.
The day he got back from that trip,
Yeah,
he
right.
was told someone in your
Yeah,
who was
right.
on your trip developed COVID. So
Yeah.
that means that he was infected. And so it was a pretty direct, and we've been so careful for so long, but we all got it. But this is my first outing, so to say. I'm gonna see how long I last, but it seems my voice seems to be holding.
Yeah.
And as long as I can hang in there, I'll I'll do it. And if not, we might just have to cut today a bit short. That's all. But other than
That's
that,
fine. That's totally
um,
fine. Take care of yourself.
we'll see.
Mm.
But that explains how, if you guys did go into the class files, you will notice that there's only 3 files in there, because I spend a lot of time preparing the the files for the new class, and I've been in bed. So I will take this week to put all the class files this way. That way I'll have a good decision. But so I have the 3 files for today. And now we need to get everyone else to come into class. Where's everyone? I had like 5 new people in the roster, which should be then that they should have showed up at 9 a.m. and that's when I do all the beginning part. But they didn't. So sometimes people who are credit students sign up and then they go, "Oh, this is a non-credit class," and then they don't come. I don't know. I for a while I thought, "Oh my goodness, my email sent them to the wrong link," but I checked and the link was correct. So I've been hanging here with Dot, waiting for people to show up. And now I'm waiting for everyone else. There's 22 people in the class. Well, that's not true. Without these 5 people, there's 15 people in the class. So I'm expecting at least 10 today. One person came in early and said they'll be back at 10 because they knew all the basics. So I'm looking at the list. These are all people who normally show up to class. So it's
Oh, maybe-
10:03. Let's give them till
Can I ask you
10:10. Yeah.
an Adobe Creative Cloud question?
Yes.
My cloud I got last year and it expires in a couple of weeks. And I noticed you have a page on your file, your shared files to sign up. And
Was it yours or were you doing the school?
it was through the school.
To the school too. Mhm, okay.
And if you just went to Adobe, they would helpfully give it to you as a student for, I think, $20 a month. And I went, I thought I got it for less. And now
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see in
yeah.
your handout.
Yeah, it's much
cheaper.
cheaper to go
it's a-
through.
It's
the-
$100.
It's 100 for a whole year. It is much cheaper than going through
Adobe.
Adobe. So it's California Community College Consortium that gets these deals for students. So you have to be a community college student, which you are. And so if you go into that link and purchase it through that system, then you get that price, but you need to use your Pipeline email address and follow all the process for Pipeline, using always your school email when they ask you. And then they confirm that you're a student, and then they send you an email with the instructions. So it takes about a week. So even if you have about a week to go, you should get it going so that it doesn't lapse, because then it takes about a week to get the whole process before you get access to it, because they have to prove that you are really a student, and then they go to college, and then they
Yeah.
go back. So it's a process. If you go to Adobe, you just press go and give them your credit card and you're in, but it's, tons
Yeah.
more money. So
Yeah.
definitely start the process now. Okay.
Does that work even if you're like not credited? Like these classes aren't for credits and it's
Yeah.
still, Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's for, yeah, you're a city college student, credit or no credit. They you definitely have all the same rights as any other
That's cool.
student.
So right now I have just the Photoshop suite. So I have Lightroom and
Mm.
Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
So
So you're paying something equivalent-ish because that's like $10 a month.
right.
Um,
And so
it's
if I were
still, it's still more, it's 120 a year. If you pay 100 a year, you'll get the entire Adobe suite
Suite?
if you do it through that.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, I think I'll switch that
And
up
it
then.
used to be
Thank you.
80. For 5 years, it's been $80. This summer they went, or this spring they went up to 100. So it's,
Okay.
so it just went up $20. It's still way cheaper than the
Yeah,
than the
totally.
other.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now be careful though, because when they
Mhm,
give you the price,
mhm,
well, Photoshop and Lightroom for $9.99, I think is a monthly deal.
mhm.
But if you were paying for the, just find out to make sure that it's not a yearly deal that you're signed into. Because if you're in Photoshop based on, when you sign up normally, they tell you it's, as a student, it's $20 a month based on a yearly plan, which means that you need to keep paying for a whole year, even if you decide you don't need it anymore. So make sure that your $9.99 isn't one of those, because you might not be, you might have paid for the new one and then you still have to pay for this one. So check in with Adobe and say you
Oh,
want to see, go and look at your account settings, billing, and see if it's a yearly plan. If you
okay.
if you can cancel out now. And sometimes, like if you try to cancel out of a plan that you're 3 months into it, they'll still make you pay for like half of all the months that are left or something like that, if it's a yearly plan.
Okay.
So check on that first, because then you might want to wait until that's over before you do it. Or you might calculate
Okay.
the money and figure out it's still cheaper and then go ahead and do it. It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Hi,
Thank you.
Barbara.
Hi, I have a question. That full suite, that's $100, is that through,
It's
who
through
is
the
that through?
college buys.
College Price, okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, so if you head over to, let me share my screen since, if you head over here to the, well, in the handouts that I sent you, let me go to the email that I sent you, because then I can, oh, come now, really? I just want the email. I guess I haven't signed into this computer yet.
I need my other mouse.
Uh, all right, so here's the, my reminder. Where's the email that I sent you guys, where I had all that
Okay.
info?
I was just
Photoshop.
walking around with it, I had it printed.
Welcome. Photoshop will begin Friday. Go over here and go over there. Where did I say it? Adobe Creative Cloud, collegebuys.org. There we go. It used to be collegebuys.org and now it's store at collegebuys.org, and that's why I couldn't remember it. So when you go over here, it's a foundation for California community colleges, and that's why you get this deal. So if you want to buy Adobe, there's so many different ways, but basically, you can start there. We can start anywhere. But if I go over here to Adobe, for example, it says select options. And then if you want 6 months, it's $50. And if you want 12 months, it's $100. Okay. And then you click add to cart and you give them your credit card, but that's when they will ask you to confirm that you are a student. So, and it even happens earlier. If you go over here, Explore Savings Solutions, and it gives you these choices, you click on what's eligible for faculty, no, your students, and it'll tell you what kind of things you can get. Because internet, for example, service is cheaper and stuff like that. So anyway, the whole point is that by the time you get what you want, and I don't want them to charge me, so but let me see, I'm gonna add to cart. And when you go in there, it'll have you prove log into your account or create an account. And if you've never used it, when you create an account, that's when it has you put in your email, and people make a mistake of putting in their regular Gmail or Yahoo or whatever, and then it becomes a problem. So put in your pipeline email, which is your username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. And then it'll send all the rest of, and then you pay. And then after that, you have to keep checking your pipeline email, because they'll be emailing you at that email address with all of the instructions that you need to follow. And it takes, depending on when you start, if it's a Friday or whatever, it might take a whole week. It might take 5 days until you finally get an email saying, okay, here you go, sign up. And then you follow the instructions, and you need to make sure to choose that you're getting it through the FCCC. So you need to follow the instructions really carefully, because when people, especially if you already have an account like Laura, the Adobe tries to default to your personal account, and it becomes a problem, because no, with this price, you can't through whatever your Adobe account used to be. Now you have to be through the account that is your pipeline account. And and then it all is good. As long as you follow the right prompts, you're good. But if you don't, it takes it takes a lot of calling back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until it's finally fixed, right?
Thank you.
So yeah, it just needs to be cleared up in
Oh,
that sense. So, hi Shelley, nice to see you.
So you want to wait until
Hi.
you get that before you cancel? Like I've got the $10 a month one.
Yeah, look at your account, the $10 a month, make sure that it's a month and not based on a yearly plan. That's what I was telling Laura. Go to the billing or payment or account section in your Adobe and see if it's something that like you have.
I was on a
it-
monthly plan, I'm sure, so.
Yeah, no, everyone's on a monthly plan. It's hard to explain. Let me go to
I'll go and check it out. Don't take the times for me.
well,
For that.
let me
I'll get it.
let me explain. When you go to Adobe and you buy this, it's kind of interesting because oh wow, Adobe keeps changing all the time. When they say get a month, see the terms or whatever, right? They tell you, it's kind of weird, but they basically tell you that it's an annual billed monthly.
Yeah, they
And
say
you don't know what that
$20
is,
a
because you're
month.
just paying $20 a month and you go, oh, I can just stop paying $20 and I'm done. And actually, no, because the reason you're getting it for that price is because it's an annual plan, right? So the only thing is that I don't know if the photography one is considered annual or not. So this one, the photographers get them, if I say by now,
Whoa.
You want students, not photographers.
no, because you're not doing the student plan. You told me you're doing the photography plan, which is this one,
Oh, yeah.
right? Lightroom and Photoshop.
990, yeah, and bridge.
See plan and pricing details. It's an annual paid monthly. There you go. That's what I meant. That's the thing. So if you started it, 2 months ago and you try to cancel it, so basically it's a prepaid, this is what it would cost a year. See what I mean? You kind of think it's 99 a month, but it's not really. If you try to cancel, they go, well, sorry, but you still owe me 8 months. And if you try to get out of it anyway, what I have been told, and I called them and asked them, then they need to pay like for half of what's missing. So if you owe 8 months, they might make you pay $40 more before you can cancel. You know what I mean? They don't let you
Yeah.
just cancel it. So
I've had it for I don't know how many years.
yeah.
It
So anyway.
automatically gets put on my credit card.
Yeah. So who knows, if you call and say, listen, exactly, you've been such a good client for so long, you might say, hey, I want to cancel it because as a student, you can get for $100 the entire suite. instead of just these programs, as long
I'll
as you
see if
want the
I can
rest of them.
transfer my plan and see what they say.
Adobe doesn't, no, Adobe won't transfer. Adobe does not do anything regarding,
Nothing nice?
no, this is their cheapest, like, they will not, they can't help you with the FCCC plan. That's just you, you know what I mean? You have to
Right.
go, you have to, set this one up yourself. At most, what you can tell them is that you're going to sign up. In fact, this account, whatever this account that you have, is your, if you look at the account that you have, it's your personal email and everything. So it's two separate deals. When you sign up now for the college buys, you sign up as Pipeline,
Right.
and that's who you are. And then when you open up Photoshop, at the very top of Photoshop or whatever, it shows you the account you're in. Let me show you now.
So I'll have to see when my plan renews and put it in my calendar. So a week before that, I could go into College Buys and get a plan from there and then cancel.
Sorry, I'm sharing the wrong thing. I have to share my desktop. You have to go to your Creative Cloud account, which on a Mac shows up there. And this is the one that shows you what your account is, sorry. And then over here, it shows you your account. And see how this one says Diana Musacchio Pipeline? When you go over here, if you have your personal email address or whatever, you're going to have to sign out, and then you're going to have to sign in as your Pipeline account, and then you'll start your new account. But first you need to have purchased it and all that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It is so-
and
it
do you know
is-
how many computers with the student plan you can have?
Like two, just like the regular
Okay.
plan. Mhm.
It
Yeah,
is
you
such
can
a pain to do that. I've got my new account all activated, and every time I try to sign out and sign into the school one, it goes right back to my old one. It like just keeps going over there.
But are you still paying for the other one then?
No. And it just
That's-
keeps opening up, and I'll sign everything out, and I've connected it all correctly, and then when I go to open it, it switches right back over to the Gmail, my original account.
That's
So
so interesting, because I've had both, and that has never happened to me. So that's weird. I mean, it's one of,
Can you
I don't know why that would be happening. Can you, yeah, you can't delete the account.
uninstall one?
You say manage account, and then you just go in here and, huh.
and then it comes up
wonder-
with the Pipeline account, but then when I go to try to install Photoshop or anything, then it goes back over to my Gmail one, just without
But
me even doing
then
anything.
it tells you that you need to pay, probably, right?
Yeah, it says your account's expired, and it does this whole
Wow.
it's
Well, maybe you
confusing.
should go, you know what, maybe you should go to Adobe support one day that you have nothing to do in your life, and explain to them that maybe there's a way to clear it out from the back end, from their end or something, you know what I mean?
yeah, I'll
'Cause,
figure it out. But
'cause,
it's
yeah, that
just,
can be a real, if you have to do it every time.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it's from here, from manage account, I've always, once I've signed out, I mean, if I were to, if you have to, I don't have the other one running anymore, but if not, it would have here, sign into your other account, but then I don't anymore right now, I'm on this one. So, yeah, so I don't have that issue anymore. All right, you've had your hand up for quite a while, Rebecca.
Well, it's about this issue.
Mhm.
I was trying to renew, and they said because they changed their website, they didn't pat over the information, and I would have to sign in new with a new password. And
Um,
I
Are you
I-
talking about FCCC?
College Buys, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forwarded my voicemail message to your personal account because I was concerned if I did it to the Pipeline one.
oh,
And so you can see what she said.
okay.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is you need to change your password?
Yeah, my old sign in will not work anymore.
Okay, well, that should be a big problem. Here's the thing, FCCC, it used to just sign in for them. Now, when you try to buy something through FCCC, it has you sign in through it's called the CCCC consortium. It's like, it's become more official from the whole California. So they shifted who's paying for it, basically in the back end. And so you need to set up the account with them and start that way. But it's if you've never done it, it's fine. But if you try to renew, you might need to do it that way. Yeah. But guys, I don't know what's happened to everyone. I really don't know. But it's now 10:20, and you know, you guys
a
are all
gloomy
old
day.
hand.
I wonder
It-
if some people are like on a holiday vacation already.
Well,
maybe.
that's true. And a lot of people who've taken this class before know that the first class is pretty basic. So
Mhm.
maybe they're like, I'll show up next class, but they usually tell me when that happens. So now, just to be clear, because I know that I've had all of you guys, but I'm not always very clear on which classes you've been. So in particular, Laura and Shelley, have you guys taken and Dorothy? I know that you guys, because Rebecca just took them all in the summer, so I know.
Taking
But
what?
Rebecca took everything in the summer.
Although there were math classes and a Photoshop.
So who took, raise your hand if you took Photoshop with me already. Okay, and since I'm seeing you, that's okay. Otherwise, use your little, remember the reaction tools for yes or no. So that way I can see, and by the way, if you updated Zoom, you'll notice that if you haven't used it for a while, now it has a little heart in the reaction instead of the smiley face. So then if you've taken Photoshop, raise your hand. So like literally go to the tools and say raise hand, because if you haven't used them in a while, the tools have changed. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, Barbara, I know you've taken it. Do you forget how to say hi? So how to raise your hand?
I did react and put my hand up, but I can't find.
But you might
keyboard.
have clicked on it again. So you put it down again. So go back to React and click on it on again. This is the little reminder of how to use those tools. So
Oh,
when you
wow,
go
I
to,
got a different one.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, because it changed and there's all these other things. Okay, so Laura, so all of you guys have taken Photoshop before?
Sort of. I started a class with you, but my schedule then changed, so I
Oh,
had to drop
that's
out.
fine.
So
But you took like two,
yeah, I made it through like three or four.
three, yeah, three or
Mhm.
four. You took quite a few.
Mhm.
So basically none of you guys are Scratch beginners. Vince, what's up with working with the file? Here's the thing. I was going to teach Photoshop online and in person. It was going to be HyFlex in the spring,
Mhm.
and Vince is waiting for that class. But for better or for worse, the lab at school is being remodeled. They were going to remodel it last fall, then last spring, then they were going to do it over the summer. And guess what? It seems that they're finally doing it. And so all my classes that were HyFlex are being turned into online only. And
That's fun.
supposedly everything will be ready and new and beautiful and gorgeous new computers by the spring session. So are you going to keep like looking in, or are you going to
Yes,
do the
yes.
work?
No, this one I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be watching whatever you watching live. You'll be able to see me. I just running a little late now, putting my groceries in the cupboard.
Got it. But you won't be doing the work, and you're fine with that. I mean,
I'm
basically,
just
if you
going to
don't,
be watching. I had meant to be watching during the summer session, but the summer session, I got caught off guard, and
Okay.
Everything's moving back forward. So
okay. And just
So-
so know, you guys, he doesn't care. If you just watch and don't do the work, you don't pass the class. But passing the class is not like a problem. You just take it again, right? But if you're trying to get the credits or something like that, and he
No,
knows that, we've talked about
I'm
it.
doing
but
it to become familiar with it, and then in the spring, then
when we get in person, I'll be there. Okay, great. All right, so then let me clear your hands, and that's good. And for better for worse, let me just get up my where's my, oh, it's way over here. I have the other computer running. My main computer has been giving me technical issues. It's poor little thing. It's old. It's 2015. I've souped it up, but it's really beginning to have trouble. So I'm basically teaching mainly on my laptop, which is new right now. but it's harder to handle stuff. So I have the Zoom and all that on the other computer. And one of these days I'm gonna have to go and finally buy a new computer. All right, so let me take you to the class handouts, which, oh, some of you just joined me. You are not aware, but I am just recovering from COVID. In fact, a day ago I was still positive, so I'm glad that I'm on, home Zoom distance. The bugs don't travel through the system, but but I'm not sure that I'll be able to do the entire class. We'll see how much I can do. I'm feeling good right now, so that's all. I'm glad. It's how long my energy and my voice lasts. But that's why when you go, I'm going to share my screen now. When you go to the class handouts, and you all technically, I'm going to say technically because sometimes even though people have done it, they don't really remember how to get there. You should all, when you go, know how to get into the shared drives and into the Photoshop. But if you don't remember how to do that, please do that. And then when you get here, you'll notice that if, you can switch to name or whatever. And my fall folder says not ready to download yet. And that's because I have not been able to select all my new files for this course. So I only have 3 in there today that I was going to use to do some of the initial stuff. Go ahead and still bring these in, and then by next week I'll have all the images in there. So even though it says not ready to download yet, go ahead and head over to this folder and right click on it and download this not ready to download. And then next week, when it's full of the actual files, we can re-download it and we'll write over the old one. Okay. So if this is or isn't working for you, some people like Dot, you have a new computer. When you try to download, it might have you, if you've not downloaded yet, it might give you a question like, are you sure you want to download multiple files from Google or something like that? And it won't let you download unless you say okay to that. So keep an eye for that message.
It came in okay.
It came in. Okay.
Yep.
Dot's inaugurating a new, fast, happy computer. And that I shall soon too, I hope. We'll see. All right. So once that's downloaded, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Open Bridge and we're going to go find that one. So I still have my links from the summer quick access. So I'm going to, if you have any here from the past, meaning you still have the files, you can keep them, but I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Okay. So how we're going to find today's class files, if you go over here up at the top, if you're on remind me again, who's on a PC and who's on a Mac here? So give me a yes if you're on a Mac and a no if you're on a PC. Remember the red check mark or the green check mark? Yes for Mac, no for PC. And I know Barb and Vince, Barb is a Mac person. So wow, I have very few and all Mac people. So that's kind of fun. If this is truly, I don't know, I'm going to email everyone going, hey guys, where were you today? Because I'm seeing a lot of the regulars who always attend in the class. So they probably were like, I'm going to miss the first one. I don't know. Anyway, so then you might see here, if you're a Mac, the reason I'm asking you is because this looks different if it's Mac or PC. But if you have this set up here and you see the downloads, that's good, but you might not see the downloads. If you don't see the word downloads there, then go to the word computer. And then when you see computer, you can double click and you'll get to applications, developer, and then double click on users. And this is only if you don't see the word downloads there. And then after you do users, you're going to double click on the at which app am I in right now? I'm in SPCC teacher. And then you'll open up that one. And that's where you'll see like your documents, desktop, downloads. So this would be a good time to grab downloads and to put it here, like literally grab it and put it here. That way you'll have it, because then from now on, it's much easier to find your stuff. All right. And the reason I said that is because now that if you have your downloads here, now you can just go over here and find the folder that we just downloaded.
I'm not finding my download. Oh, here it is.
Okay. And I have to clean up my downloads, but over here I can go sort by file name or by date added or things like that. And since I just added this one, I can go over here and fall Photoshop class files not ready to download yet, and I'm going to drag it over there. Make a quick access to it. And then we'll refresh this one next week when I have the class files. Okay, so if I lost you at any of this in any way, shape, or form, and I lost you at this, please let me know and I'll help you. I know that automatically the downloads doesn't show up here, which doesn't make sense to me. That's why I had you go and figure out how to put it in there. Because then in the future, every time you download something, it's much easier to find it. And then when you find the folder you need, you just put it over here. If you guys put the folder that you downloaded into your documents folder or into your desktop or wherever else, you can leave it there. But I highly recommend not putting things in your desktop. I always recommend having it in your documents folder. All right, so I'm going to stop my share. And when you guys get here and you see the files, give me an all good, give me a yes. And if you need support right now and you don't have the class files and I lost you in all my 25 things that I clicked on, then give me a no and I will help you get here.
I'm on a different computer than I was last time, but the only thing I don't remember is how to get into the Drive, the one,
Oh.
like how to access Drive, but then I can
Mhm.
navigate easily.
All right, so the thing is that it changed a tad. That's what we were doing with Dot when she showed up. When you go, you know what, instead of me showing you, go ahead and you share your screen, because I'll show you, because the pipeline is going away.
Okay.
And now it's just something called My SBCC. I'm going to share your screen and that way everyone, you'll see it, you'll do it with yours, but everyone can see, because we need to switch to learn how to use My Drive, because it's going away in like 4 weeks. Pipeline is going
Okay.
away in 4 weeks.
Okay.
Not My Drive, My SBCC or something like that it's called.
Okay.
So go ahead and share your screen. Okay, so now when you head over to SBCC, like you're doing that, go ahead and say yes or no to the cookies. Oh, where did you go?
Oops. Sorry. Let me log in real quick.
Oh, you clicked on.
Do I not need to even log in on this? I'm on 2 computers, so I'm
Okay,
just.
so go down and say allow or deny or whatever you want to do for cookies. Okay, now at the very top, right, let me just, don't do it quickly so people can see. Guys, when you get into your SBCC, in the past over here, there was a big P for pipeline. Now that P is gone and you see this little thing that says My SBCC. You see that, you guys? So that's going to be the new access for students. So this is basically sbcc.edu, the general, and then that's where you go from now on. Okay, so go ahead and click on My SBCC. I mean, it's supposed to be much easier, and it has seemed to be much easier. There's a lot going on here. But one thing we discovered today with Dot, when she came in earlier, is that there's no quick link over here where there's shortcuts. There's no quick link to the Google Drive. In fact, there is one when you go to resources, but it didn't seem to take us to the shared drives. It took us only to shared with me. Let me check with you again. Can you check over here first? If not, I'll tell you how to get in, but can you click on resources, please? See, it goes to shared with me and Google Drive, but it doesn't go to the shared drives. So that's a problem. Click on Google Drive to see in your case if it went there. No, it only takes you to yours. So this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to talk to IT to have them to see if they can add a Google Drive here. So the workaround is, let's go to Gmail.
To get 2 windows up here.
And I'll do this real quick. Sorry. I hate the always authentic.
Yeah, but
Oh.
since it's the new, and then over here, click on that. And then here, there's your Google Drive. It's only one extra step, but I wish they would have the link straight on them. Okay, and now you can go to shared drives. Because what they did is they put a link to shared with me and to my drive, right? But they didn't put the shared drives link, which is a bummer. So there you go. Shared.
And then can I make a shortcut? I can just make a shortcut to get right here on my own.
Yes, yes.
Desktop.
But
Okay, great.
it'll,
Awesome.
but,
Yeah.
but when you try to get here on your own, it'll, if you're signed out, it'll still
Okay.
have you sign in, but it'll come up with the basic sign up, the regular sign up, and then you'll get
Okay.
straight in here instead of having to do all that.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
and now,
Thank you.
and there you are. Now you can open that and download my little not ready to download yet files. But anyway, just wanted to show that so that people could see the new My SBCCC, which, let me stop your share, which is actually, I've been using it for the last, well, not last week because I was sick, but before that. It's actually very useful, but I never noticed until today when Dot was trying to get in that they don't have a link straight to in the student resources before you get into the Google Drive. Now you have this roundabout way. Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna,
Oh, man,
They-
I forgot how to use makeup.
they want feedback from us as to what's working, not working. And I'm like, oh, that's one thing that's not working. So, okay. Cool. So everyone else, oh, say Barbara,
I am so lost. I cannot believe this.
share your screen. You're trying to get to the class files. And by the way, it's like there's only 3, you can use anything. But go ahead, and I want to show you so that you can do it again. Let's share your screen. Yeah. So can you move this whole thing in so that I can see your Gmail? Over to the
I
far-
don't know what happened. I'm screen sharing and I lost.
Oh, over
I-
here. Head over to I can see those 3. Ah, I was
I lo-
pointing.
I opened the second one. I lost my screen. Stop.
Well,
share.
go down to your dock. I just saw, hold on, go down to your dock. Yeah, and go over here to Safari where you were a second ago.
Where's Safari at?
Right there. Oh,
Right there.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then look over here. Ah, there we go. Yeah. Just go over here.
Where do you want me to go?
To these.
I have a red dot right
That's
down.
because I'm touching stuff and making over
Oh.
here. That little icon. No. Move upwards in the arrow. Go that way.
Videos?
Right here. Maybe it's under the Zoom stuff. Keep no. Stop. Move your mouse up. Move your mouse. Follow my red arrow. Go up. Yes, there. Click on that. And then go to the drive.
Let me move
You
that.
probably have the Zoom stuff in the way here if you don't see what I'm showing you. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Shared
There
drives.
you have your shared drives and there you have Photoshop.
Here, do I click on?
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
one?
Yeah. Double click. And now right click on this thing here and download.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot how to use my computer.
No, that's okay. That's all right. It's and now just open your bridge and
Do
we'll
I want to
access.
click on that?
No,
go
no,
down?
just go open bridge now. Go down to your dock and open bridge.
Now I've
Yep.
got to move this again.
You have stuff in the way. Yeah, there's bridge. And you might as well open Photoshop while you're at it. That way it starts opening up. Yeah. And then once bridge is open, you can
Bouncing
go to your
tennis ball.
downloads to find the downloaded file. All right.
Boy, my computer's slow. I've got to call Cox. They said I was moving fast. I don't know, they doubled my speed for free for 12 months or something. And it's like everything slowed down.
Oh,
I
that's good.
swear.
That's now,
Okay, I want to
all right.
minimize.
So over here on the left side of your bridge, go over here, click on where my
Let
circle
me-
is. Ignore that for now. Yeah, click over here. Okay, so see how you don't have the oh, you do. Oh, you have the downloads. Go to the downloads then. Oh, good, you do have downloads. Okay. And now over here, you should have this it
Class
is.
files?
Here it is. No, here. File.
Oh, there we
folder,
go.
yeah, drag it out here. And there you go. Now click on it.
One, twice.
Yeah, one single click and there's the class files. You're ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to watch the video 10 times, I swear.
Well, now you have it. That's done. Next week, though, I will have a full set of photos for the class in there. And then we
I
just need
haven't
to
touched my
download it
computer
again.
in months. I've been working in the yard.
Oh, well, happy you. Summer's over. Time to learn.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now let me
Thank you.
share my screen. The only other thing I want us to do before we get opening up with Photoshop, I want you guys to be set up with the Padlet. We have a good old Padlet for Photoshop, so let me give you the link for that one. And I'm going to put it in the chat. By the way, I noticed that I didn't have you guys sign into the chat, so can everyone in the chat give me a little good morning or hey ho or hello or whatever? And then click on that link that I gave you. And we'll end up here. Oh, and I
Donna,
forgot to put,
Dan, I'm having trouble getting into the chat. I mean,
do you see
Okay.
where I'm saying hi there? Then I just said hi there. Did it
Yeah, I
pop
can
in?
see that.
Okay, so just click on that and if you scroll down, or if you see that, then you see this now. Just click on the link I just put in there.
I just.
Is that link taking you there?
find it. Oh, now I see it. Okay, right there. Okay.
Okay. And what I forgot to do is to put my good old, I always put the first, how to make a screenshot here. I tried to do as much as I could, but I was really out of it.
We just screenshot that and then link, get it.
No, let me, I need to create this pin. And I need to put it in here. So I'm going to show you how to make a pin. You go down here to the bottom right. A couple of you guys, I think you haven't taken a class where you needed to use this yet. So click on this. When you go to the bottom here, some people it's in the middle, there's a plus sign. When you try to hover over it, it stops being a plus sign. And when you just click one time, it'll give you a subject, and there you need to put your name. And then
Where are you showing this now? I don't see
I'm going
that.
to show this to you again. So I just needed to, hold on, I just needed to make this post. So what I need you guys to do is to first make a screenshot. And most of you guys have been doing this over the last few sessions, but Dot, you haven't taken one of these classes in a while.
Screenshot.
So go ahead and do a screenshot of anything right now. I don't care what. Right now, I'm going to do a screenshot of this little portion right there of my screen.
Mhm.
And then we're going to go and do plus sign. Click on the plus sign once.
Um,
And then
Screenshot. Am I on my screenshot?
no. If you made a screenshot, make a screenshot. I don't care any of
did,
of your board. Okay.
Yeah.
So now go back in here. Are you here in the Photoshop Padlet?
Oh, no.
Okay. So to be
Just
here,
click on it to get in there?
click on the link that I put in the chat. Yeah.
Okay,
And you'll get in here.
okay.
So everyone go ahead and post something. Okay. Everyone post a screenshot of anything. It's the first post. And then once you're here, tell me Dot, once you're in here.
I'm in where you've got your information, your fall stuff, the Padlet,
Okay.
and then it says add a comment. Do I do that?
No, if you made it here, you need to post your own thing. See how Rebecca just posted something and now Laura's posting something, here's how they're popping up. You need to post your own. So go ahead and go down. Do you see this purple sign at the bottom right?
Yeah, oh, say plus,
Okay,
yeah.
click on that. And then put your name at the top.
Mhm.
And then you can click on this if you if your screenshot is on your desktop and you'd have it next to you, you can just drag it in, or you can click on this first little icon and then go to your desktop here on the left side. And when you do that, you'll find your screenshot that you just
Okay.
took and you can upload it that way. And then here you can write something like, hi there. This is my first screenshot. Now, when you're done, you can just publish. Okay. This is just a reminder. I want to make sure everyone remembers how to do this. So Barbara, do you remember how to do this?
No, I'm trying to put the bookmark in the right spot and
Okay. So
I'll get it. I just
that's
I'm
fine.
lost
So
here.
is everyone else there? Rebecca, y'all, there's so few of you as I can actually count you guys. Okay. So cool. So this is the way we're going to turn things in, Dorothy. So Dot. So you'll basically be doing the work in Photoshop, and I will need the reminder from you guys though, by the way. If sometimes I forget that as we're going along, I'll say, okay, post what you've got. And in the end, it's going to look kind of like this. See? And Shelly is really good at being really clear about writing things and asking questions. You see how she's been writing all this stuff. This is the what's it, the spring one there. But we'll be posting the work, and this is how I'll be checking in, and you can have questions and stuff like that. So that's what this is going to end up looking like by the time we're done with class. Okay. And then whoever wrote first day Photoshop, that doesn't work
did.
because, yeah, Barb, I don't know who it is. So hover over here to where it says, put your mouse and you'll see that it says edit. Go ahead and click on that. And when you do that, when you edit your own, you can then replace the first day Photoshop, put your name in there. And then what you write can go in the bottom under the write something here.
Thank
But
you.
over here at the top, I need to see your name because then I can check and see if you're, doing the work. Otherwise, I don't know who that is. Okay. All right. So I'm going to switch over to Bridge again. And I mean, technically it's time for our break, but you all didn't start till 10. So we're going to wait a bit longer. And something that I haven't really shown this group much is, or ever, I have it here usually in my handouts, but I haven't really done much with it. So let's notice here, by the way, that this is a PNG. Does anyone remember what a PNG file is, or what it is for, or what it does? Any idea?
I don't remember.
It's one of those formats for photos on that you're sharing, but I
Yeah,
don't know what it-
you're very, very,
there's
yes,
PNG
it's
and
a,
there's PSD, I think, or something like that.
yeah, so PSD is a Photoshop document, so that means it has layers. A JPEG, it means that it's flat, like there's no layers to that one. It's as it came out of the camera, or it's already been processed and flattened again. Okay, so that's plan B for how a JPEG could be straight out of the camera, or it can be something that's an export. Figured, finally corrected and finished, and you export it as a JPEG, either to put it in the internet or to print it. And then the last one here is a PNG, which is also an export format. When you are in Photoshop, if you want for certain reasons to export as a PNG or as a JPEG, you can choose. Those are the two main export formats. And the PNG specialty is that you can have it be transparent. So in this case, it does not look like it's transparent. Let's go ahead and double click on it because we see a white background, right? So let's double click on it to open this, and it'll open up in Photoshop. Oh, here comes Ed.
What are we double clicking on?
All right, in Bridge,
Mhm.
you're gonna go over here to this one that says color wheel,
Uh-huh.
Angie, and just double click on that.
Okay.
I'm getting options when I double click on it.
What does it say?
Leave as is, assign working RGB or assign profile, Adobe RGB 98.
Is anyone else getting that? Show me what you're getting because I'm curious.
It
I'm gonna stop
says
my share.
that it doesn't have a, okay, where's screen
Like a
share?
color profile or something like that. Let me
Right.
stop my share. Hi, Ed. Thanks for joining us.
I forgot how to share. I've got too many windows open.
Can you share?
There, show over here.
So
Now,
a PNG is an export format that is supposed to be, yeah, go ahead and drag it over a bit to the middle
you
and then
see
double
this
click.
one?
Yeah, double click on it and let's see what it does. Yeah, on the color wheel. This document does not embed it or your profile. Go ahead and say leave as is.
Thank you. I never
we
know
go.
what to do when I get those.
Yeah, it's for now, it doesn't matter. Leave as is. There we go. And one thing, let me just say that let me stop my share, your share, and open up mine again.
I
There
got
we
it.
go. Let me head back to Photoshop. So it oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm doing my best with my coughing, but we'll get there. Let me move you guys out of the way a little bit. Sorry, since I'm on my little laptop, you guys are in. I need to close you up so that I can move around to see. Okay. So this is a PNG, which is an export format, meaning it had to have started as something else. And then in Photoshop or wherever you created it, mainly you create PNGs from Photoshop, you would have done an export and chosen a kind of PNG you want. And in this case, this PNG is not doing the function that PNGs should do. And the whole point of a PNG is for it to have transparency. So what do I mean by that? If I were to now try to put this photo somewhere, this white, it looks white, but this actually would print. So if I were to try to print this on a piece of PNG is for the internet, right? So if I were to put this on the internet and my background of my website were to be brown, then this circle would have a white background around it. In order for it to show up as a circle, this would need to be transparent. And that's the power of the PNGs. So let's head over here, and with our new handy dandy little toolbar here that didn't used to exist before, those of you who are taking Photoshop for the first time in a while, there's some really cool new tools. This is a contextual bar, right? And it'll have tools that you can use the moment you need them. And then every time you have a different tool, it'll do something, it'll have something else here. So in this case, it's so easy to just say remove background. And I'm going to click on remove background. And there it is. Photoshop created a mask and it knew exactly what the background was. And it created a layer mask where it is hiding the white stuff and it is floating on transparency. You see that?
I didn't see where you got to that remove back. Oh, I see it. Okay.
It was down here. It
Yeah,
doesn't
right,
say
I
that
got it.
anymore. Mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it anymore because it's done. There's no background to remove. So that's what I meant by contextual. This thing keeps changing to have you be able to do whatever it is that you need to do.
Where do
So
you
now-
get that if it's not showing on your computer?
Okay, if you don't have the contextual bar, then head over to the window. And at the very bottom here, it says contextual taskbar. You can turn it on from there. It might have been that you turned it off or closed it and it's not there anymore.
Oh, there we go. I
Um,
knew I have had it before. Thank
so
you.
you're welcome. I'm coughing a bit too much, guys. I'm gonna explain to you this and then I'm gonna take a break so that I can see if I can stop it. Sorry, Ed, you just joined us, so you didn't hear me, but I've had COVID. I'm still testing positive. I'm fine, but when I talk too much, obviously I'm back into this little coughing thing. Okay, so now if I were to want to save this, okay, I would have to export it as a PNG that respects transparency. And then when I post this, for example, on the web, it would float. It would be a circle. So this is good for a logo or for a picture, anything that I don't want to include that background to it. Does that make sense? So if this were a bird in the sky and you just wanted the bird, then you could save it as a PNG. So how are we going to do that? We're going to go to File, Export. Notice that it says quick export as PNG. We're going to ignore that one right now because it doesn't teach you anything. It just does it for you. So let's head over to export as.
It's not.
Can I give you a hand, Barbara, to get to here?
I have that bar, but I'm not getting subtract from, I'm not getting what I need.
Okay, why don't you share your screen so I can see? Because
I'm
it could be
sorry.
that you've no, it's okay. It could be that
Can't
you're in a
believe
different.
I'm having,
Racing motorcycle.
Oh, it's just that you don't have the regular selection tool turned on. You have the crop tool. So go over to the top and switch to the selection tool at the very top. Yeah, that one.
oh, the lasso?
No, just the move tool, not the selection tool. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. And now, yeah, now that you have that tool, you're able to see that. And I see
Oh, I've
it.
still got the crop.
Try it again. There we go. And now
Yeah.
when you go to the contextual bar, you'll see that the remove background is available.
Thank you. And you click on it.
Just click on it and it'll remove your background. Cool. And now go ahead and go to export. Go to up to File, Export As. Yep,
Oh,
there it is. Oh, you're passing it
okay.
right there.
Ah, there it is. Export. As a ping.
Export as. One down, one down, one export as, one down. Yeah. There we go. All right, cool. I'm going to stop your share and share mine.
And then I want to click export back over here, right?
Hold on. Let me do the export as myself because I need to do it again. Here we go. Export as. And this little window pops up for you. Okay.
Right.
Does everyone have this window now? All right. So in this window is where we choose. By default, it'll be sent to whatever was last. In mine, the last thing I did was JPEG. You probably guys are probably in PNG because that's the default one. But if not, here's the 3 things you can export as. And PNG has a choice to preserve transparency or not. See that? So look at the difference. When it says transparency, I see this little transparency in the background. When I turn this off, see how it goes white? This is how this PNG had started. So the PNG that we had saved before did not respect transparency. When I turn on this one, it does respect transparency. Now, this is 99%. When it was created 100% only for the internet. But some people still use it now to go to print and other stuff, but because it's a really easy way to have something that's cut out. All JPEGs have to be in a rectangular format of some kind. They cannot have this transparency. All right, so as long as this is turned on and this is PNG, now we're going to go ahead and save it. This is a compression format that is not, it is called lossless. It does not lose quality when you create it. So now I hit the export and it's asking me where to save it. I'm going to go ahead and save it in the same folder that it came from, which I believe I have still in my downloads. There it is. And since there's already a PNG color wheel, I have to change its name. I'm gonna say PNG color wheel dot transparency or slash transparency. So that I don't overwrite the PNG that's already there as color wheel.
Turn the sound off.
And if you just have this little version of save, when you go to save as, and you want to be able to choose where to go, then click on this little arrow right there to open it into the big version. And then go find the folder that we just downloaded. And that's where you'll put the color wheel transparency. And then when you say save, it'll save over. All right, so now when I go back to Bridge, I have just saved into my new folder, and here I have the original one, and here I have now the one that I just created.
And now it's
What-
got the dots, so it's transparent.
If you got to this and it's all working, give me not only a yes, but also give me a screenshot of this. This is just to kind of see that you made it all the way into the final saving. And also to have this be our first post for our Padlet. And so I'm going to do a post, Diana, and this is going to be my bridge with saved transparency PNG. And you don't always have to explain exactly what you're posting because I can see it, but this would be a time to do things like writing down the steps of the process that I just taught, of the skill of whatever skill that I just taught you about and stuff like that would be a good thing to write over here and then to publish. Okay, so that would be what I need you guys to post right now. And then after that,
Diana, I've got,
Yes.
when I go to PNG, it says, when I go to save it, it says format options and it says large file, medium or small.
okay, let me have you share my, have me, please share your screen so I can see your choices.
Sure.
So go ahead and say cancel. Because I didn't want you to save as, I wanted you to export. So go to File, Export As at the very top. Yeah, because that way we do it from, yeah, Export As, one down. There we go. And now go ahead and say export and let's see if it gives us that question again. But bottom right, very, very far bottom right, there's a little export. Yeah.
Okay.
And now add the transparency to the name. But you're gonna have to put a dot again because you kind of, and then take the dot out from the beginning because you
Oh,
kind of
okay.
left a dot in between those two. Give it a dash or something.
Okay.
And then put it in the put it in the folder that we've been working in, which I guess you have
Yeah,
it right there.
Right here, right
Mhm.
here.
Yeah. Cool. And then say save. Cool. And now go to Bridge, which, why do you have Bridge open? How did you open this before?
What?
Oh, okay.
My
So you
bridge- my
you
bridge
haven't been
keeps
using Bridge.
closing for some reason.
No,
I
but
keep getting a message that it's
get
quit,
over here to favorites. You get a message that what?
that it's quitting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Remember that we said you don't have the newest one?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Here's the folder, by the way. So why don't you just grab it from here and drag it there? Oh, no, don't double click. Now you have to back out.
Oh,
So go up here to where it says downloads. Up here, I have so many
Download.
markings now.
yeah.
Here, go to there. Good. Now grab it and drag it out to here. Yeah, perfect. Now you can click on that. And there you go. There you
Oh,
have.
okay.
So this would be something to do a screenshot of right now. And then, so go ahead and screenshot this. Yeah, perfect. And then go put it in the, hi Jinsu.
See, I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's been doing this all the time.
Huh.
I might have
Okay.
to contact Adobe or something, huh?
Yeah, and you know what? Remember that when you started, we
upgrade it,
couldn't
yeah.
update it. So what I recommend is go ahead and say okay for now.
Yeah,
Don't use it. When you're done with class, quit all of the programs, restart your computer, and then go to the Creative Cloud icon up here that we used before, right?
Yeah.
And oh, you don't have it up here.
Oh,
Where's
it's
your
down on
Creative
my
Cloud
dock
icon?
now.
Oh, okay. And then open that up and see if it allows you to update it at that point, okay? And see
Okay,
what's
sure.
happening there.
Sounds good.
But for now, don't worry. Okay, but you did do a screenshot before it clashed, I
did.
think.
Mhm,
So
right.
go to your Safari so you can get to the Padlet that should already be open because you already used it. Yeah, click on that. And then
Maybe I closed it or
you
something.
probably closed it. So go to your history. Go over here to history. And there's your Padlet. There you go. Well, it's
Where?
right there or there too. Yeah.
Where?
Either way, it's either there or there. Photoshop fall 2024.
This one here?
Yeah, click on that.
Yeah,
There
okay.
you go. And so now you can post. I
I can
go
post
to
it.
the go to
Okay,
the plus sign, put your name, and then post the screenshot.
okay.
Okay, great. So guys, oh,
We're
if
gonna
you've
take a
all,
break before we ask you all those questions.
what's that?
We were gonna take a break for your voice before we ask you all those
Yeah.
questions.
No, that's fine. I was about to say, I'm gonna see if anyone else was missing. Give me a yes if you all managed to accomplish those steps. PNGs and JPEGs are export files, okay? They're files that we create after we've opened the file and done something to them in Photoshop for one reason or another, usually for the internet, a PNG, although some people are using them now also for long story around that for design and stuff like that. And many times when you download files from the internet, now they come as PNGs. And so you can open them in Photoshop and work with them as we just saw. Let's go ahead and I'll tell you more about PNGs later, but for now, let's take a break. Where's my time? 11:08. 28, 32. So be back at 11. 15, 18 plus 3,
22.
23. Is that 22?
23. Get some tea.
I'm going to get some warm tea and honey and ginger tea and honey. And I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Where'd it go?
Hello again. I got my tissues, I got my tea. Hopefully, oh, I'll make it to the end. Yeah, I'm unhappy to say that I have joined the group of people who have had COVID, which I had never had before. So now I have to wonder if it's such a great thing to have joined. I mean, very happy not having it. But anyway, here we go. Oh, here comes Rachel. All right. So, here we go. I'm looking at the hey Rachel. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So guys, I'm sharing my screen. And by the way, we just are coming in from break. So you knocked in Rachel right when I'm starting up again. So yay. That said, not sure how long I'll be able to be here. I've just had COVID and I'm still recovering, and it looks like I've decided to start coughing, even though I'm having my ginger tea right now. But I just wanted to show you guys an example that over here, Barbara put in this, she just put the file like that, and it says transparency, and it's hard to tell because the background used to be white. But imagine if this background were green or whatever, this would be floating over it. If you had the whole background, it would have shown, see, like when I hover over it, that would have shown white if it still had the white transparency. I'm just showing you when I put my mouse over it. See how it's gray? That's because that's a nothing in it. Ah, oh, that seems to have cleared it. All right. I think. Hold on.
Was I not supposed to?
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. What was that? Who said something when I was
Oh, it was
coughing?
me. Was I not supposed to post it?
No. I'm showing how this is an example of seeing how,
Oh.
yes, this is a PNG. That's all. That is a transparency PNG is what I'm saying, because if not over here, we'd see white. The fact that when we hover over it, we see transparent means that whatever background we'd have, it would have that color. All right, so back to Photoshop, I mean, where we had this open. So now the contextual bar that we have down here is the one that I wanted to mention, talk about for a little bit. The people who have not used Photoshop for, let's say, a year, because I know in 2023 it was already there. I believe it wasn't there in 2022. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, because I'm opening my 2023 on this computer and it already has it there. But I just want to talk about it for a second because sometimes it gets in the way. You're trying to work on something here and it's sitting there and you want to move it out of the way. You have to grab it from this little line there to drag it and put it where you want it. Say that I've got this going up big, say that I'm like Command +++, and for some reason I need to be over here and I need to see this and it's in the way. It kind of sits and, it sits all over the place in the way. If you put it out here, it kind of disappears. So I recommend either having, so I'm going to go back to Command 0. I recommend when you see these 3 little dots over here, one of the, let me put it up higher so you can see the choices. When you put it up higher, you can see all the choices coming up. I don't recommend hiding it but if you do, then you have to pull it up again from the window, but say that you hide it. If you say reset bar position, it ends up down there at the bottom. What I like to do is to pin the bar position. See how I have that one turned on? I now turned it off. And so the bar kind of follows your mouse and things that you're doing. So what I recommend is putting it somewhere that's available, but as out of the way as you feel comfortable with, which for me is usually kind of down here, and then clicking on that and saying pin bar position. And then it kind of sits there and does whatever it is that you need it to do. Leave, it stays where you want it to be. Oh, you can't see my screen? Dot, let me stop share and start again, see if it pops up for you then.
Now I see it.
Can you see it now? Okay,
Mhm.
sometimes it gets hidden behind other stuff. All right. And then you'll notice that it'll change all the time. Right now, it used to say remove background. We already moved background. So now the only possible choices are to do either subtract from the mask or add from the mask, which up until now, those of you who have been taking classes with me know that what I have you do is I have you go to the mask, then I have you go take a brush. So this is a reminder of how masks work. Let's go to this mask, select the mask, then head over to the brush, which is the B, okay? The B brush tool, because there's so many brushes, right? And then if you have white or black ink, you have to choose that. So down here, I have black right now. And if I want to change it, I'll never click on this. And I always show you this, and then people immediately click. And if you click, you get this, and this is not what we want. So if this happens, say cancel, you don't click on this to choose black or white. You either click on this little tiny double-headed arrow to switch from black to white, or I like much better that you hit the X key, black, white, X, X. I'm hitting the X key on my keyboard, okay? So now, if I want to disappear some of the stuff that's in here, I'll look over here and I'll go, well, if it's already white and I want to not be there, like that, which is not there, then that means I need to paint with black. So you put black in there, and then you start painting over that which you don't want, which in this case, I'm painting over the blue. And when I do that, that little bit starts having like a little pie bit. Okay, so this is just a reminder of how masks work. This whole group has already done masks before. Some of you have taken this a class a short time ago. Some of you guys have taken this class a while ago. So this is just a quick little review. If some of this doesn't like ding in your brain, please ask me questions. So once again, if I want to have something disappear, and I'll just paint with my brush with the color black inside of this area that's white. Now, if instead I want it to once again appear, I would have to go over here, not go, but look at this. And with my X key, I'm going to switch back to white. Okay, so now I've got white, and then I'll paint over it again, and it's going to appear again. Okay, now I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful now, because if I don't do it correctly, and I'm painting over here, and I go like, whoops, over there, then what I'm going to bring back in is some of that white that I didn't want. See how I have that little like ding sticking out there? So now to get rid of that, I have to go back to black. So I'm going to hit my X key again. I'm back to black, and now I have to get rid of that again. But it's going to be much harder to get it to be precise with my mouse than it was with the first time. So I'm going to have to approach, et cetera, and see how I didn't do such a good job. And I have to go back to black and reset that edge and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like not the best thing to do it this way. It's better that when there's tools that are automatic, to use those automatic tools. And so this is just a review, a real quick reminder of what it takes to do a mask. And now, instead of doing it that way, let's imagine that I have never taught you that and you don't remember that. Now let's see what happens. Let's go back to the move tool. Let's go back to history. I'm running you through some of the basics to remind you how to operate on stuff. Let's go back to the history. And this tool here is the history tool. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure I'm just moving my things down so that my Zoom tools don't get in the way. 1 second. Okay. So, I don't know what workspace you guys might be in. I'm in the photography workspace. You might be in the essentials workspace. So you might have different things than me. I'm wanting us to switch to the photography workspace, everyone. And then once you're in the photography workspace, let's head down to reset photography so that it starts from scratch. Okay, so that you have the same adjustments and bars, windows, and tools that I have. And then since I want to make this one smaller, I'm just going to double click on the word adjustments like that, and then have a lot of space for my layer. So once again, if you were in Essentials or in any other of these workspaces, I want you to click on that and choose photography. But once you choose photography, you need to go back up here and say reset photography, because who knows last time you used it where you left it. Okay. So now everyone has the same tools set up the same way.
Okay.
And then I'm going to modify that. I don't want the adjustments layer to be visible right now. So I'm going to just double click on that word and it collapses. So now that is how I want this to be set up. And in the history panel, which you should now have if you did the whole reset, then you go to the history panel, and I want us all to, whatever it is that we've been doing, I want us to go back to where we cleanly removed the background. Okay, so if you've been adding and taking away, you'll see all these different tools. I don't want to start from 0 where I had this. I want to start from where we already removed the background, which is right there. Okay, so at this point, if you've gotten back in your history, if you remember now how to use the history, if you reset your operating, your workspaces. And oh, and one more thing, some people have really tiny thumbnails. If you right click on the thumbnails, most people have these little small thumbnails, which is fine. But if you want to really see your mask, it might be easier if you right click and see medium thumbnails. Be careful, because if you have a very small screen and you get tempted to use these, then you might end up being like, you can't see any of the gray area of your layer. To see it, you're going to have to make things bigger. If you make things bigger, you see less, and you do need to see this part of your layer. So I highly recommend to actually
Yeah, I can't see your screen again.
okay, there's something that you are probably doing. Hold on. Let me go back to, I'm going to right click and put it in medium thumbnails, which I do for teaching, but I want to make sure that you see some gray space. Otherwise you can't handle it. Well, or keep it in small if you were fine with it. I'm going to stop my share again. I'm going to share again right now, Dot, but pay attention now. This time when you do see my screen, what are you doing to see yours? Are you moving me off completely, or I'm going to share one more
I'm
time?
flipping from Photoshop, which is my screen, to Zoom.
Okay, so I'm going to share again.
Mhm.
And now instead of flipping back and forth, you could try to grab your Zoom and make it smaller so it only occupies a bit of the screen that you can see me on, and keep your Photoshop
Like
with
that,
mine visible.
yeah.
And then you don't have to be screeching. Otherwise, consider the Command and Tab. If I do Command Tab, I have to share my entire screen with you to see what I'm talking about. Hold on. When I do Command Tab, I can switch from Bridge to Photoshop to Zoom, right? And so each time I'm doing Command and I'm hitting the Tab key. And so when I do this and I let go on at this, like tab, and I'm like, still my command is down, like I'm not letting go of command. And I do tab, and it then prioritizes that which I'm trying to do. So if I let go now of my command key, I'm in Photoshop. And I said Command tab to Bridge, and I let go of Command, I'm back
Oh,
in
okay.
Bridge. Command tab, Zoom. See that? And so you might want to like use that to switch back and forth.
Man,
Okay. So it's command,
man.
everyone who doesn't know this, you guys try it. It's Command tab, and it cycles you through anything
Where's
that's
the
open.
tab? I'm not seeing my
The
tab.
tab is up to the left of the letter Q above the caps lock. That's your tab key. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I
So
think
then you
Command
hold
tab.
down the command key and you go tab. And then if you want to, if what you want to do is Photoshop, you go, and once you see this Photoshop is set up, you let go of your command key and boom, you'll be in Photoshop. Or if you're in Zoom or in Bridge, then you're in Bridge. Okay. Everyone should know this shortcut. It's pretty cool one, and it might help you when I'm sharing screen.
Okay.
Now I'm going to make it smaller
Doesn't
again
work.
to share only this. What's up?
Doesn't work. Or do I
Mar-
have to have that whatever's showing in full screen mode?
No, I'm not in full
Tab
screen mode. You don't want to be in full screen mode. Well, I guess it'll still
'Cause
work if you're in full screen mode. But you
uh,
shouldn't be in full screen mode if you're doing Zoom, because you need
I've
to
got
have,
the Zoom and the Photoshop. They're both open side by side on my
yeah.
monitor.
So that you're good then, but Dot was doing one or the other, one or the other. And if she's doing one or the other, then this is the way to switch back and forth, okay? Ideally, you will have both. So if you have both, Barb, don't change that. I'm just talking to Dot who has
Okay,
going
I'll
from
try
one to
having
the other.
both.
Because I don't want to have to stop and share again each time it disappears for you, Dot. So try to move yours
Yeah,
around.
sure.
Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining us. How are you? Well, I can't hear you, but I think your word said okay. I think your mouth said okay. All right. All right. So instead, so if we all went back into the history and got back to where we said remove background and stop there, okay? Then I want to show you how down here we could have done also the equivalent to what I just taught you how to do, which is say that I want to subtract from mask. I'll click on subtract from mask. And basically it gives you the brush tool, see? And it gives you the brush tool and it already set it at black to have us do exactly the same thing that I just did. So it's like a quick way of doing that which I already taught you to do in the past. But if you forget, or if you're learning Photoshop now, then you can use these tools to do something without having to know actually what's happening. I don't appreciate that. I'd rather people know. But on the other hand, it might make Photoshop easier to use. Because if now I want to add from mask, instead of knowing that I have to go switch from white to black, I can just click add to mask. And now I click and it's adding and you're like, what's the magic? Well, the only difference if you look over here is that this is switching from black to white. When I say subtract from mask, it becomes black. When I say add to mask, it becomes white. So it's basically doing for you that which I showed you how to do and that for years I've been telling you how to do. But now this tool kind of does it for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you want to take away, you click on subtract from mask, make a little hole in your mask, and then you add to mask and you add. And for better or for worse, it does make things easier to learn. As a person who knows inside what's happening, I'd prefer, if you're really and take this seriously, to learn the actual process. What if this thing disappears? Then you wouldn't know how to do it. So if this does disappear for any reason and you don't see the bar and you're left without knowing how to add or take away from the mask, then note to go over here to window and turn the contextual taskbar on again. Okay, so let's go over here and turn it off. Click on this little 3 little dots and hide the bar. And especially when you begin to rely on it, that can be uncomfortable. Go back up to window and it's way down here, contextual taskbar. And then it appears again. Okay. So the tools that'll be here are the ones that the computer most logically thinks you're going to want next. So if you hover over this one, the only thing I don't like about the taskbar is that it doesn't give you little tooltips. Like if I hover over here, it gives me a tooltip of what these things are. But if I hover over this one, it doesn't tell me what these 3 things are. So if I don't know what they are, though, I can click on this and it's these 3 things over here. It's the reset layer mask, it's the invert mask, load a selection. And then you can choose it from there instead of from here. Okay, so if I click on this, this turns off your mask and it turns on again. If you click on this one, it tells you how to view it differently. And if you click on this one, it takes you to the properties. Again, I prefer, as usual, to use the stuff from here, but there you go. That's the kind of thing you'll happen. Now look, the moment I change tool, I'm going to change to my selection tool, right one under, to my from the move tool to my selection tool. Interestingly enough, the selection tool hasn't made it change. Let's head over to the crop tool. There we go. When I go to the crop tool and I head down here, then my toolbar has shifted and it's showing me different things. If I head over to the retouching tools, and the retouching, it goes back to the same old subtract from mask. So I'd have to change tool quite a bit. Type tool, looks like for a while it's going to suppose that that's the best thing I can do. Yeah, it looks like the only time that it's changing a lot right now, because all we have is one layer, is when I go to the crop tool. But a lot of times what I'm going to say is when Barbara originally couldn't see the remove background, it's because she was in a different tool. Okay, so if you're in a different tool, you have to go back up to the right tool to get the choices that you need. Okay, so that's enough about this contextual toolbar. You can learn to start using it or never use it and know how to do the things there, and it's fine. It doesn't do anything new or different. It just gives us a quicker access to the basic stuff that we're going to need.
Deanna,
Yes.
I removed it and I can't find out how to put it back in.
Okay, go
again.
back up to the window
Window,
then
okay.
and then choose
Oh,
contextual taskbar.
Okay, okay.
And it
okay.
needs to have the check mark on.
Yeah,
If the check
right.
mark is on and you're not seeing it, it's because it's kind of hanging out somewhere in your desk, you need to
Yeah, sure.
turn it on again. Okay,
Okay, great.
so I'm gonna leave it kind of out of the way-ish, right there-ish, and then whenever we use it or need it, we will. Okay, now, I'm just doing today, since all of you are people who've taken this class before, I'm just kind of running quickly through some basics. I'm assuming you remember masks. If you have any questions about math, I mean, we'll get better at it, but I'm assuming that you remember what we just did there. And so I'm not spending time reteaching you masks. Now I'm going to remind you how to use adjustment layers. I'm going to remind you how to do a couple more things so that, in fact, I'm kind of happy because I'd like to have had all the new people show up, but since they didn't show up, that means that as of next class, we're going to be able to move forward. So all of you guys will get to see things and that I haven't maybe been able to teach as much because I'm not going to have to redo some of the basics. So, but if I'm reviewing these basics with you guys and there's something here that's completely like, you don't get it, please stop me and ask me, and I'm more than happy to run through that again. Does that make sense? You promise me that if it doesn't make sense to you or you need a reminder, you will stop me, right?
Yes.
And tell me that you need help or whatever, okay? Don't let me run through. I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that this is going to be a group of more advanced students to teach you some more advanced stuff that I don't always get to do. So yay. Looking at the bright side of the fact that the new people didn't show up. All right, so running through the adjustment layers now. If we head down to the bottom, we have all these little different icons, and the circle that's half black, half white, that's my adjustment layers. Now, I want to stop there for a minute because for years, I've been showing you these adjustment layers, and that's all of these. There's a ton of them. But there's some new presets, which are hiding under this thing that I told you to hide out. So let me just do one first. Let's go down to this circle here, click on it once, and let's do a good old hue saturation adjustment layer, the basic set. That's the easy one to do. So it's usually the first one I teach. Click on hue saturation layer. And when you do that, you get this kind of layer that sits on top. And since I didn't pre-make a selection, it's white, it'll affect everything. And I'm gonna head over here to the hue saturation and I'm going to start flipping this around. And as you can see, all the colors are flipping, what I call flipping the wheel, like turning the wheel. They're all switching according to wherever we're cutting it. So if this were a photo that has a lot of photos, every single item in the photo will be changing, not just the one targeted thing, because there's nothing pre-selected in here. So the entire image is flipping around. So that's to change the colors. Over here, I would go and make it much more saturated or completely desaturated. And in this adjustment layer, this is pretty much all we're going to use. We would rarely use lightness. But you could lighten the colors or darken them, but it's just not, this is not a good place to do that. If you say lightness, all it does is it makes everything ghostly. If you say darkness, everything goes black. It's just not a good one. So look at what happens if I want to get back to 0, just double click and then double click and double click. And that brings you back to 0 as if nothing is happening. Now let's go ahead and put it up here somewhere at the very top right, where this is at like plus 180 or something like that. And then let's collapse this properties panel. I'm going to collapse it by clicking on this arrow or by clicking on the double-headed arrow. All right. So now if you've all been able to create a hue saturation layer and it's worked fine, give me a yes, just as a checking in. And I want everyone to tell me a yes or a no, okay? Because now I'm going to run through a lot of different settings that you might or not remember. And so now I'm going to keep looking up. And as I see yeses, I'll keep going. If I don't see yeses, I'll stop and ask individually if you need me to help you. So is that a yes, Barbara? I
I'm
know.
sorry. I'm fine. Yeah, do a yes, do a yes.
All right, so give me a yes. And just to know what's happening, because I know Ed and Sue, you guys joined us later. If you're following through, let me know. Give me a yes. If you're just kind of watching, let me know, write to me or something, and then I won't bug you like Vince right now is just watching. That way I'll just know not to call on you. But if you are doing it, then just so you know, where we got these files from, we went to the class files. And over here, I wrote not ready to download yet on the fall Photoshop class files, but that's because I was sick and I haven't been able to put all the files in it, but it still does have 3 files, which are the 3 that we did download. So if you download those 3 and you head over to Bridge and find them, those are the 3 that we have, except for the one that we just created. And that's the starting point for today. By next week, I'll have the rest of the files in there. All right. So then this is what we opened up. And so all we're doing is doing a quick review of some of the stuff that usually takes me, a couple of weeks to get everyone to be on top of things. So today we're just doing a quick review of this. All right. So then now that I've collapsed my properties, what if I don't like that adjustment and I want to change it? So how do I get back to that? Well, 2 ways. One, this portion of that adjustment layer is my properties. So if I double click on that, the properties open up. See that? So that would be one way. Another way is to remember that as long as I select this layer, that little icon there with the little sliders, that's the properties. So I can click on that to get to the properties, and then I can, change it and now move my hue saturation wherever else I want it. So that's how I would go and re-access the properties. Now, I'm going to teach you a few more things about this hue saturation. Usually I don't get around to going further than the basic color swiveling. So let's double click. Put this to the middle again.
I gotta pay attention.
Okay, so I put this in, I double click this so it goes back to 0. So I'm back as if this didn't exist. I'm going to show you 2 more things. One of these is the colorize button here. If I click on colorize, look what happened to my screen. Instead of all the colors swiveling around, all of them turn to a tone of the same thing. So, and actually, just for the fun of it, let's go back to Bridge, and I'm going to have us open this Holiday Motel. It's a JPEG. So if you double click on a JPEG, it's going to open in Photoshop. And just so that we can see that what's happening in that, circle, which is kind of hard to see, it's all just colors. We're going to go to this one and really quickly do the same thing, do a hue saturation. Notice that if we flip around, all the colors flip around. I'm going to double click and put it back into the middle. And now when I say colorize, there you go. Everything gets turned into one version of that color. Notice that it defaulted to the very similar color on both. It went to this kind of reddish, pinkish thing. So now you don't need to do it on this one. This is just for me to see in real life what this looks like. But what I want you to do is notice that now we can, yes, use lightness, darkness, saturation to make this be a brighter tone of that which they're offering, or a lighter or darker tone of that which they're offering, or I can just make it be into the greens or into the blues or into whatever I want. And so I want a very desaturated blues or a very light version of something. So this is a great way to get everything to turn into one color. So over here, if I would want this to be in the purples, but I want them to be darker purples, more saturated purples, or blues more than purples, or light ones, or so maybe I want a very, very desaturated set of colors, and I want them to be very light, right? So that kind of thing. So this is the real life version of this one, where we're playing around and bringing it all in. So that's the colorize. Yes, Rachel?
Yes, I'm missing something critical because I got to the
Mhm.
part where I have the color wheel and I can desaturate and it turned kind of like this maroon color,
Mm-hmm.
but then I can't do what you're doing, which is turning it to blue. And then on the Holiday Motel, I couldn't
Okay.
get that to desaturate.
So if you colorize it,
Yeah, I clicked the colorize button. Okay. Are you all right?
yeah, I'm okay. I'm just. Okay. When you try to flip the hue here, it's not flipping color.
Yeah, it's flipping. I was doing saturation and
Yeah.
not hue.
Yeah, so hue is to change its color from the red to something else. And then
Mhm.
saturation makes it be really intense or not intense. Did that work now, or?
Yeah, and then going to the other picture, the looks
Mhm.
like the sign. I don't have the same screen where it says hue and lightness and brightness or
Did you create the hue saturation adjustment layer first?
oh no, I didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first you need to do a hue saturation adjustment layer, and then in the properties of that layer, when you hit colorize, then you'll have the choice to put it.
Oh, okay. Now it's
make
coming
it
up.
be. Yeah.
That's what I missed.
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
thank you.
That's why I check in with you guys. Perfect. All right. So now give me a yes, everyone who has been able to do this, at least if you've done it on the color wheel and you're comfy with that. If on top of that you did it on this, that's, how do you call it? Cherry on top. Give me a screenshot, not only of the image, but please include the properties like that so we can see that it's the colorize feature that we're using. And once again, let's put it in the Padlet. So don't close the Padlet at this point. We're going to be putting these things in here quite a bit. And in this case, we can remember to do colorize is in the hue saturation adjustment layer. Colorize option. And then you can say whatever else you want to say about moving the sliders and stuff like that. Does anyone need the link again to the, here? Let me put this in the chat again.
Oh God, what did I miss?
Mhm.
Oh, I wanna go down here.
When you color wheel downloaded, did you already have a mask? I don't remember making a mask. The mask was made by clicking on, when we downloaded the wheel, the first thing we did is we added that remove background. Remember, that's what made the mask
Oh,
happen.
thank you.
Yeah, the remove background is an automatic. In the past, I would teach you how to make the mask using this link, but instead by doing remove the background, it just made it. So they're making a lot of things much more automatic and easier to use. Reading the chat, see if anyone else has. I think there's no other questions in the chat. Okay. So, so that's the colorize feature. I'm seeing yeses from almost everyone. Barb, did you get it? Were you able to do the colorize, Barbara? Since
Yes,
not
I'm,
seeing a
I'm
yes from
doing it
you.
right now.
Okay. And I know, I think Sue, you're watching, and I think Ed, you're watching. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and turn the colorize off. And if you're in the colorize, we're back to just the wheel. Oh. I'm gonna,
Okay,
I need to stop talking for a little bit.
No, how did I do?
Okay. One more thing about this hue saturation. Over here, there's a couple of other tools that I haven't normally shown you too much. And one of them, let's put everything back to 0, 0, 0. And that's, in a way, that's why I'm asking you to do this feature there, so that you can later come back to it, because I'm going to make you undo it right now. I'm having you go back to Photoshop and turn off the colorize and put everything back to 0. And now there's this master feature there. See that? And this master feature allows me to choose which colors I want to affect. Up until now, all colors, all hues, okay, have been affected. But what I can do here is say, well, I only want to affect the reds. Now it's kind of tricky, because when you say affect the reds, there's not just red in the red. There's also red in the pink and in the purple and in the orange. Does that make sense? So even though I chose to affect only the reds, look what's going to happen when I flip this around. Quite a few of those colors are changing. You see that? Basically, the pink and the oranges that have enough red in them to make a difference are all flipping. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm going to head over here to clear your answers, and to get a much more good example of this, let's head over again to this holiday motel. And let's turn off the colorize feature and make sure everything goes back to 0. And now in this case, it'll be much easier to see what I mean about just affect the reds. Instead of making everything flip, if I now say master reds, and I move this around, you'll see that it is only the red that is being affected. Does that make sense? It's a bit harder to see that in the color wheel, but actually, even even though there's a little bit of a difference between this red and that red, they're both being affected. Now, if instead I said, well, let me just work on the blues, right? Now I'm going to flip the blues around, and as you can see, only the blue sky is changing, but my red and my yellow are staying the same. So now you're seeing a bit the power of this feature. If I were to say only affect the blues in here, then the blues are going to change, but also any other color that has blues, like the purples, are also changing. Does that make sense? If this is something that like makes sense and it's good and you're getting it, like you're comfortable with a feature, then give me a yes. If there's like, I'm not really sure what you're showing us, or I have follow-up questions, please, definitely, it's the time to follow up. Now, once I run over to the greens, do you think anything is going to change here? No changes, right? Because this one had only yellows, blues, and reds. This image is good for this example because it's so limited in its colors. The magentas, right? So if you look at this one, you truly are limited to just blue, yellow, and red. And go to the yellows now, and yeah, flip my yellows around. Now, since I changed them all in individually, in individual bits and pieces, if I want to undo this, I would have to go back to each one of those and undo them individually, or I'm going to go all the way back down here and I'm going to click on this little reset. Boom. And now I'm back. to my adjustment default. So I've reset it. So I'm back to the beginning of my screen. Does that make sense, you guys? So when you go to the master, you choose which one. I'm going to go just to the yellows now, and then I'm going to flip the yellows around. This is rare. There's not that many photos in the world that are so stark, which is why I use one as an example. But also notice most of the times when you have a real photo, it'll have a whole blend of colors. So for example, if I'm in this, well, this is a bad example because there's only really blues in here. But most photos, there'll be a blend. And when you think you're only affecting the greens, you'll be surprised that suddenly the sky is also changing because the sky might have a little bit of green in it. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's go ahead and choose to affect only one or two of these guys. If you want to do also another screenshot to with you know, that shows that you're moving only the yellows or the greens, you can do that. But I want to show you two more. There's so many things to show in each one of these panels, but one more thing I want to show you is down here, which I've never shown you these little lines. So let's go all the way back to 0 by using this little reset. So we're back to this blue, yellow, and red. Okay, back to the blue, the yellow, and red. And now let's go ahead and choose, let's go with the yellows.
Okay.
Let's make the yellows. This time follow my instructions. Don't make it any color you want. Let's make the yellows greenish. And now I'm going to show you down here what these are for. Although, now that I think about it, that won't make that much of a difference in this image because the colors are so stark. But this limits the amount of colors that are being affected. So, and I'm talking about these little lines that appear between these two, which by the way, if you're still at master, you won't see them. But once you choose one of these colors, say yellows, this set of tools here is opening up. And what these set of tools are doing, and it's limiting how much or how little of that color you want to affect. So this two internal lines, if you notice up at the top, they're showing yellow and a little bit of green. They're just that yellow. And so this is the bracket of the colors that are being chosen, which we said is yellow. And then this amount here is the tolerance of how yellow does it really need to be. So if I were to grab this little extra triangle here and drag it out, what I'm telling it is not only something that's pure yellow, but anything that's similar to yellow that's in the reds, for example. And now look how my red is being added to that. You see that? Before it was limiting itself to just the yellows. But what if over here I tell it, well, go into the cyans, and I'm going over there. Well, guess what? We discovered there's not cyan in this image. There's only blues. So this doesn't seem to affect it so much. But we do have reds in this image. So by doing that, we're including the reds and having them change as well, not just the yellows. See what I mean? So you can expand or delete. Now, when does this help? Is if you have, for example, greens. You have many greens in the forest. If you want to affect only one version of the green, you make this really small and you tell it, no, I only want you to change that one little green of this tree. Or no, I want you to change the green of all the forest. You do like that, and then it deals with all the greens in the forest. I didn't give you an example of that, but I did give you something in the blues. So if you want to see a bit more what this works about, we can head over here and open this one. And here we don't have any greens, but we have a lot of different blues. So maybe we can try to see the difference in how it affects all the blues or some of the blues in this one. Again, it's not a very colorful image, so I'm not sure how much it will affect it, but it gives you some experience of opening and closing different things and applying what I'm talking about in different images. So first of all, let's give this an adjustment, a hue saturation adjustment. Here we are. And over here, we're gonna have to distinguish, is this mainly blues or is this cyans? Because the sky can have blues and cyans, and it might even have a bit of red. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and head over to the blues.
Hmm.
And let's see. Yep, a lot of blue in there because a lot of it is changing. Okay, so I'm going to double click and put it back to 0. How about the cyans? If I move the cyan, yeah, there's a lot of cyan in there too. I'm going to double click. Is there any reds in this sky? It's changing at such a tiny little tad. What's changing more is in here. It looks like there was a little bit of red in this port here. See how it's going kind of
Yeah.
from green to blue?
Brown, so it would have red.
Maybe it's got some yellows. Yeah, the bottom here is changing, but the sky, no, the sky, I'm finding that there's only, let me see if there's any greens in this image. Almost, no, there's no greens in this image, even though technically we know that this should be trees, but they're not showing up as greens. And there's definitely, I'm sure no magentas. Yeah. So basically what we have here is mainly in the sky, it's cyans and blues. Okay. So let's head over, for example, to the cyans. Let's choose the cyans. I just want to affect the cyans. Oh, well, that one's a hard one because it's harder to understand because this thing is split. Let me show you if I show you the blues. Yeah, the blues is a little bit easier because the split thing is looking like what I showed you. If I want to move my blues, right? And I want to make them pink, for example. I want the sky to be pink. Now, over here, look what's happening. The blues up here are turning pink. See how the pink is showing me there? Now, if I want them to go and turn into greens, see how my blues up there are turning green? See how this is working? Does that make sense? When I'm saying blues, I mean the top line is showing me the blues right there, and the bottom line is showing me the greens. So my blues are turning into greens. And now I'm going to reduce it, the top, so that only my cyans, only my blues and not my cyans are turning green. So now you have this combination where half of the sky is turning green. But then the blue, look, there was more blue in the ocean, in the lake, and the lake is still keeping some of its blue. Versus if I include all the cyans in it, then everything is going green. See that? So it's just a matter of how much of this is it that we're wanting to affect. And that's really all that's happening. Okay, I'm going to reset and try this with a photograph that has many more colors, and it'll be easier. Of all the things I was going to show you, I didn't know I'd get down to this nitty-gritty today. I didn't know that I'd have only more advanced students. So so I don't have one with more colors, but go ahead and do that. Open up a photo that you have with more colors, and then choose to change something. So again, I'm going to make these pink, and then I'm going to reduce it to being only the blues. See that? And only a certain type of blues. I can even reduce this limit there. And now I've managed to limit the pink to be only in the very central part of the sky, and see how the rest is still blue. So I've reduced the internal piece so that it's a very specific piece of my blues only that's changing, right? And then I'm reducing it to being none of the cyans whatsoever. So I'm left with only a little bit of a purple aura, I guess, so to say. And all the rest of my blues, even though I'm changing them, my blues, I've limited the tolerance of this to be only in that area. If this is kind of working for you, go for it and give me a yes. This is something that you need to play around with. So if you got the concept, then you just need to see it with other images of yours, then give me a yes. If you're still not too sure what I'm doing when I say moving these things, because it's so tiny and I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately, then give me a no. But otherwise, there you go. That's kind of the features that I wanted to show you about how you can really, the hue saturation is so much more powerful than just a quick old flip all the colors. I'm seeing quite a few yeses. Yes, Dot. How can I help?
Maybe I should share my screen or something.
Go for it. Share your screen. Go ahead.
I shared it. It said something about multiple people.
Go ahead and start again the share. I had to set it different.
Okay.
I had to reset it. There we go. All right. Yeah. So you're in cyans.
Mhm.
Okay. I would recommend, because in cyans is on the far edge of the spectrum, it's a little bit hard to understand. Why don't you go up to the top and just change it to blues instead? Cyans and cyans too. Okay, that's interesting. You don't have the blues. Go ahead and let's reset.
It kind of changed to cyans. too.
Yeah, because you go ahead and reset. Go to the history. Go to your history at the top of the panel. You remember where the history is over here?
Oh, that's the history. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go back to one up, new hue saturation layer. No. Just one up. Yeah, there. Yeah. And then now open the properties again over here. And let's go back to that. It should say blue right now. Okay. So go over here and it should technically say no. Okay, then go behind it and go back to the history and reset your, yeah. Actually, maybe just, yeah. Go ahead, reset it. Go ahead and go and say open again. I was gonna say reset it from the bottom, but go ahead and say open again. Yeah, and then go and create the hue saturation layer again from scratch.
Like here?
No, down here.
Oh, here. Over here?
Yeah, you can do it from there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now go and choose master blues.
Blues.
There
it
you go.
comes, Okay.
Okay, and so now you can first change the hue for the blues. So go up to the hue and make it be some other color. Make it different enough from blue so that it's very easy to see what's happening, and then you can make it more subtle. But yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. And now you can go down to where you have those two lines and you can make it expand into other tones or reduce. So there's no problem is that there's no reds in this image, so that way it won't do much. But if you go to the other side, the other way, you can reduce it to be less of the cyans or more. See
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
And then you can also grab the inner lines and reduce it to a smaller part of the blues or a bigger part of the blues. Okay, and that's how you end up being able to modify individually, like really get to the place where you're modifying only. That's
Okay.
it. That's all. So it's
Great.
more of playing around with an image that has more colors to make it be a bit more visual. Yes, Barb?
No. I'm okay.
Okay. So guys, two things. First of all, it's 12:20. Instead of going till 12:45, I'm going to go to 12:30. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple more cool features for two reasons. One, because I need to stop talking, and B, because my faculty in service is happening at 1, and I still have to get in the car and drive all the way to Turnpike with a mask, sit in the way far background next to no one, and attend my in-service. Probably standing on the outside looking in, but anyway. So just letting you know that I'll be done 15 minutes early, and then in case you have any questions, to ask me those questions before. Barb?
I'm fine. I don't know how to get rid of the red X.
Oh, okay, just by clicking on it again. But I'm going to clean on all your all your answers right now anyway. All right, so all of that, there's two more things I want to show you about that. And the reason I'm showing you this isn't because I want to spend hours on the hue saturation panel. In fact, although I am, it's because whenever I show you all these adjustment layers, inside of all of them, there's so many more nuances, right? So when you find one that works for you, you can begin to explore them all. And one of the places that you want to learn to start helping yourself is whenever you're looking for something and you need more help with it. If you go over here at the top of the last part of the panel, and you don't see it, but in Photoshop next to window, you see the help. You can get on over here and ask, for example, hue saturation, for example, adjustments, hue saturation, stuff like that, and it shows you where to do it. But if you want to get more help and you do this, then it tells you all the way to the internet, to the Adobe guide, and it helps you learn more about whatever tool you're in. Okay, so don't forget to use this help. And then you'll go, when you do that, it'll take you into the internet and it'll help you, for example, hue saturation layer. And I go click on that and it gives me little video, here, hands-on tutorials. And it helps you go into the, to Adobe where it shows you all these little different tutorials. Okay. Anyway, let me, I don't know how to get rid of this little discover feature. I'll move it over to the side. Okay. So now one more thing. There's two more things I want to show you in here. So that's why I want to show you more. First of all, you're going to see that a lot of the tools have this little hand right there. By the way, at this point, if you want to take, let me go back and do a little screenshot of this piece. Just that, so we can see. Oh, I'm doing a little screenshot of that and I'm going to post it later just so that this here is a reminder. But let's go ahead and reset it to 0, completely back to 0 again. And now I want to show you this cute little hand because a lot of the tools, and I'm showing you this, and what I'm trying to say is I'm showing you doing the hue saturation, but you'll find that in all of these that you need to begin to explore on your own. You're all a bit more advanced than beginners. You want to start exploring what these others do. And you're going to see that a lot of times you'll find a very similar amount of choices or tools that you have in here. And one of them is this hand. When you click on this hand, notice that if I go over here now, and what if I don't know if this has blue or cyan or red? Like, I don't know what to choose, but I don't want to change everything. I just want to change this. Then I click over here, and when I drag to the left or the right, this is going to change the saturation. And it'll change the saturation of that I just clicked on. Given that this is all blue, it doesn't seem too much, but look, I'm going to click over here where there's a couple of other tones, and I'm going to try to move this back and forth and see how it's only affecting this thing in itself and not the blues. And I'm going exaggerating, and that's why it ends up going yellow, but it's to show you that it would choose for you. See how it's flipped to yellows suddenly? It did it for me because I didn't know what colors were in here. But by choosing this eyedropper, the computer knows which colors are in there and what it needed to affect. And it knew that I needed to affect the yellows. Okay, this might be a better example over here in the color wheel. Let me bring this one back to 0. I don't know where I had left it. So if I use this hand and I tell it I only want to change, for example, this orange, and I click over here, it's going to go up and down this hue saturation of everywhere that there's yellow in it. And if I look over here, it's showing me yellow. And I'm like, but it's orange. Why is it changing the yellows? Because it knows that what makes this yellow is actually the reds and the yellows. So it's affecting all of them. But I might not have known. Sometimes you can't tell what's in a color. Kind of like in that little, how do you call this? Boardwalk. It'd be much harder to know what color is in this boardwalk. It's very clear to see that there's blue in the sky and that there's yellow in the yellow, but you weren't aware of what was in here. So this helped us figure out that it was in the reds or in the yellows. Now, what if what I wanted it to do was to change the hue instead of the saturation, then I hold down, I select this choice and I hold down my option key. No, my command key, I'm sorry. And then I choose the reds and I can move the reds up and down and see how now what it's moving is the hue is what's changing. So I'm holding that command key. And for those of you who are on a PC, it's the control key. And then it's moving that. So instead of me having to go over here and find the blues or find the yellows by using the hand, then the computer turns it into an eyedropper and it finds for me what colors it needs to change. Okay, so it's like whenever you're confused about what colors are in it. Here, there's not much confusion, but this would be an example of where there might have been confusion about what the colors are. So now I want to have this one here, and I'm not sure how to deal with these colors. I hold down the command key and I go to the left or to the right just over here, and it's changing the hues, which is very subtle because, you know, it's a very small bit of color, but it's changing the hues and it's changing the reds, for example. Okay, and now it's changing the yellows. All right. Did that make sense? I wish I had another photo that has more colors for you to show you this, but it's up to you to do that. And I want you to say, I want you to go over here in the Padlet and I want you to homework, okay? Remember, you guys are more advanced. Homework. I need you guys to work with one of your own photos, not one of mine. I want you to open one of your own photos and I want you guys to apply. And I never write the homework in here, but why not? Homework. I usually just tell you what the homework is, but I'm gonna just write here something. Open your own photo. Hopefully a colorful one. Like one that has many colors, right? And apply a hue saturation layer. And it would be good if I could not be having so many typos. Oh. Then change the hue and saturation using the tools we practiced. For example, colorize, master, and I'm going to call it hand tool. And then adapt the sliders to more or less of the hue. Okay, so these are all the three different things that we worked on today. Of different things that you can do. And I'm gonna add one more that I'm about to show you. Presets. So I haven't shown you this one yet. So I'm about to show you that one. And I want screenshots and post screenshots. Okay. So there's a homework that I want you to do with a photo that has a variety of colors. And let me show you what I mean about the last set, the presets. So what am I talking about when I say presets? All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna let's go back on this one and let's just go back all the way to open. Like there's nothing. We haven't done anything to it. All right. We can do it to any of these actually. I don't know. I just want to start from, well, I don't want to get rid of the mask in this one. So I'm going to go back to remove background. I just want to have our images be about as scratch as we can. If you haven't opened all these, it doesn't matter. Just go to one of them. And remember I told you to collapse the adjustments? When I want them to see them again, I just need to click on this one time and they open up again. So again, 2 to collapse it and 1 to open it. And the reason I'm showing you this is because under adjustments, it used to be that all you saw was a repeat. So in the past, all you had up here was exactly the same set of adjustments that you had down here. So for years, I'd rather see the name of the adjustments here, so I just haven't been bothering going here. But as of the last 2 sets, there's something new that's coming in here under adjustments. And it's a whole bunch of presets of adjustments. So when I hover over these, all of my image, I'm not clicking on them, I'm just hovering over them. My image begins to change according to a set of presets. And if I click on more, there's a ton more. So these are portrait presets or landscape presets. And I'll hover over here. Photo repair presets, creative presets, right? There's like a bunch of stuff in here. Cinematic presets, Bracken presets. So when I start clicking on these, when I finally do want one, for example, and I click on this one, then it applied 2 different adjustment layers. And I'm going to make this open a bit bigger to see. It gave me a color balance and a brightness and contrast adjustment layer they've been there all the time. And I could have added these 2 myself, but it added them for me. It made the change for me. And I put them both in a little folder. See, if I click over here, there's a little folder called Cinematic Split Tone. When I open that up, those are the 2 different adjustment layers that have been used to adjust this. That said, it did it for me. And what if I want this effect, but I'd rather it not be these colors? Well, I can go over here and I can click on these properties. And see, if I double click on the properties, then I can say, well, I like the idea of the split tone, but I want it to be in a different tone of colors. I want it to be in that tone or this tone. Now you're like, what are you moving here? Well, I'm moving the properties of the adjustment layer called color balance, which is a bit different than the adjustment layer called hue saturation, but it's one of these many. It's right there. There is the color balance, and there is the brightness, and there is a levels, and there's the vibrance, and there's the hue saturation. We've been just using that one. But as you can see, this is a new one that you have never been exposed to. When you click on this color balance one, you discover that, again, you can move things around to your heart's content. And again, there's sets like midtones or shadows or highlights. So maybe I only want the shadows to be affected. And so I'm going to go in and move on the shadows and stuff like that. So every one of these adjustment layers has a ton. If I decide, well, I don't like the cinematic split tone, but I don't want to get rid of it, I turn it off. And after this, I want you guys to explore on your own. And I'm going to go and say, let me go with the landscape warm tones. So there, I click on landscape warm tones. And it doesn't seem to have done that much. And it gave me a curves and a color balance. So what's that? Well, curves. Have I not explored curves yet? Let's double click over here. And this is what the adjustment layer of curves looks like. And then I can start playing with that and discovering, ooh, fun things happen here too. So anyway, I want you guys to explore adjustment layers on your own, individual ones, or explore these presets. Okay. I'm going to go back to view all of them. And then if you ever make a preset that you like, you can save it on your own and you'll begin to have your own presets. But for now, just explore the adjustment presets that come. Clicking on more, you start opening them all up. If you open I'm going to close them up. If you open a portrait, then open these and try these different choices on a portrait, right? If you open a landscape, if you have an old photo, try the different photo repair ones and stuff like that. Or doesn't matter what it is, you can use a portrait one on a landscape. Just play around with them and then do a screenshot of your presets and of your layers and show us the result in the Padlet. Okay, so that's what I meant about explore presets. In fact, I'm going to edit this And I explore.
Wow.
Presets. Now, this isn't something to intimidate you. This is to tell you to just push a little bit, okay? And if all you do is just explore the basics that we did with another one of your photos, then awesome. But if you push and also try a new preset or something like that, then give me your results or post something saying, you know, I tried it and it doesn't work for me, or I'd rather create my own, or just give me some feedback about all of these. But basically, I want you to try at least with one of your own photos, the 3 things we did, the colorize and the master and the hand tool. And then if you get a chance to explore the presets, good for you. And then I want you to post some screenshots of your work. Okay.
Thank you, Diana.
Repeat
For
that.
those of you for whom a lot of this is like a bit too much, just keep to what we just did, the hue saturation one. And for those of you who want to go a bit further, start exploring the multiple adjustment layers that come in the presets. Okay. Have some fun with it. Just tackle one photo and do stuff to it. And it doesn't need to be good or bad or pretty. Just try it. Okay. That's all I want. And if you also happen to do something that makes the photo look much more incredible, that would be cool too. But that's not the goal. It's learning to see how to work with adjustment layers at a deeper level than the basics that I've been showing you in the past. Okay.
What did you say to
Thanks.
use? Colorize, and you said a couple other things. I was gonna try to write them down.
Yeah, but you don't have to look in the Padlet. I put it over here. This is
Okay,
your
thank you.
homework. Okay, change, colorize, master, and the hand tool, and explore presets. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I left the room. God,
That's
this was
fine.
a good class. Was-
Well, there you go. That's the good news of having old, and I mean old hand students, practiced students.
Oh, that you
is
really
involved.
need the class because she hasn't touched her camera or
Let's see
anything.
if I get new people to come next week. I'm going to have them catch up by watching this. And yeah, that's the good news of having old hand people. All right.
Thank you.
Feel
Bye,
better,
guys.
Diane.
Thank
Thank you.
See you. I think it's psychological. You said feel better and I immediately called.
Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.